a song, you know. You know the one there. He rolled it away. He rolled the sea away. He rolled it away. He rolled it. Come on now, hey. He rolled it away. He rolled the sea away. He rolled it away. He rolled it away. When Israel out of bondage came, I see before them lay.
parliamentary candidate for East Central St. Andrew.
Thank you, Jesus.
Good afternoon.
Whatever you face this week,
She's from
forward still.
of East Central.
Whatever mountains come in your way, forward still. Yeah. Whatever, even if you book a tour, forward still. Disappointment come, forward still. And if another pastor fall, forward still. After the pastor we are follow. We obey with pastor, but we are follow Jesus. Forward still. Young people, walk holy. Walk holy. Make the right decisions. Walk right. Walk holy. Ramandosia. Rakandarabasiondarabosa. Walk holy. Forward still. It's Jehovah's will. Though the billows dash and sway with a concrete strength, we will push. Let the church be the church, and he will roll. Yes, he will roll. No matter what you face, he will roll. Even if you fall, get up and he will. Oh yes, and he will roll the sea away.
Taking it to another level. My colleagues on the platform, ladies and gentlemen, comrades all, it's indeed a pleasure for us to host our fourth in this series of town halls in which we manifest our commitment to the principle of participatory democracy. We value the input, the dialogue, consultation that a forum like this provides for people who are interested in matters of development and matters affecting our beloved island of Jamaica. We are coming together at a time when there are reasons to think that our democracy is under threat. We see manifestations of the arrogance of power concentrated in those who hold it for its own sake. Remarks like, there's no need for an opposition, coming out of the head of government of the country. The idea that they will never surrender Jamaica to the PNP. A repeated comment, actually, by a senior member of the government, a cabinet minister. And then the institutional attacks that are undermining the fabric, the architecture of accountability that has been constructed since independence and was strengthened under the last People's National Party administration when we developed the Integrity Commission legislation and brought it to Parliament. And we see where there have been efforts over the last 2 years to dismantle it or neuter it, undermine its efficacy and its powers. And in the context of the incomplete investigation of the Prime Minister's own personal financial affairs and the whole question of the potential offense of illicit enrichment, where we have seen the appointment of somebody not qualified and somebody who has clearly manifested bias in favor of the Prime Minister in the very matter which the FID, which he has been appointed now to head, has to investigate, is tasked with investigating. And these are just the latest manifestations of a trend which included things like requiring senators to sign undated letters of resignation in order to have the sword of Damocles over their heads in the event that they didn't choose to follow a particular position that the Prime Minister wanted them to take, where we have seen the appointment of a Chief Justice being put on probation by the head of the executive branch of government, the rushed passage of the NIDS legislation, despite major misgivings having been articulated by the opposition as to its compatibility with the rights of privacy and other rights under the Constitution, only to be forced to wheel and come again when we successfully took that matter to court, and the court threw out the entire legislation as being unconstitutional. And then, of course, the serial use of repeated states of emergency in an unprecedented fashion over a period of 6 or 7 years, with over 25 states of emergency declared during that period, again ruled by the Constitutional Court to have been an unconstitutional use of that power and a violation of the Constitution. So what is on the ballot in this upcoming election includes the very democracy
Thank you, Lord. There is a race that I must run, and the victory to be won,
and which the government has refused to implement. We will be doing that. We will be pursuing the impeachment legislation which was tabled as a to implement. We will be doing that. We will be pursuing the impeachment legislation which was tabled as a private member's bill by yours truly. I didn't develop it. It originated from Bruce Golding when he was Prime Minister, but they never pursued it. And it was after that heinous incident of a member of parliament caught on video with a stool beating up his woman in a car park, his lady in a car park, that I saw the need to bring some mechanism of accountability for that kind of behavior that would bring the office of a parliamentarian into disrepute. And I dusted off Bruce Golding's bill and I made some minor but important modifications, small I should say, but important modifications, and tabled it. And this government, despite it having been a commitment of the Jamaica Labour Party, a manifesto commitment in 2016, they have resolutely blocked it from moving forward. So we see the environment we're in. We see the threats to the democracy that the country is facing. And I use this opportunity again to call on all well-thinking Jamaicans, in particular those who may not be particularly interested in the politics of the country, may not find themselves allied to any political party, may indeed not have ever even voted or haven't voted in a long time. This is your time to come and defend our way of life. This is your time to come and defend our democracy. Of our policy and programmatic commitments that we will be pursuing when we form government, which by all accounts will be soon rather than later. Yeah. We have gone through a decade in which, despite a boom in construction fueled by various economic factors, including the reduction of transfer taxes and stamp duties, the cheaper cost of credit, and the liberalizing of the planning laws around development. We saw a boom in the construction of houses in uptown areas, houses which were selling at prices which ordinary Jamaicans on salaries cannot afford. But there has been almost nothing done to construct affordable homes for the many thousands of Jamaicans who need access to affordable housing. And right now, for many young Jamaicans and many Jamaicans who are in salaried positions, but who find themselves part of the working poor or struggling middle class, find themselves excluded from the possibility of owning a home. The People's National Party has always been committed to providing housing solutions for those who would otherwise not have the opportunity to own their own homes. And if you check our record, it's a strong one, from Harbour View to Mona Heights to Hope Pastures to many other schemes, Greater Portmore and many of the other Portmore communities, and of course Operation Pride, providing a mechanism for the regularization and the bringing of dignity to informal settlements, providing them with infrastructure, organizing them into community organizations, and putting in the titling mechanisms. Unfortunately, although some 50-odd thousand titles were issued, there are several of those schemes which have not been completed, and this government has shown no inclination to complete them. And we are committed to completing them. We are committed to ensuring that they get their titles and the infrastructure to the extent that it's incomplete. And indeed, we are committed to rolling out solutions for informal settlements to bring them into the ownership category in the country so that they can pass on wealth from one generation to the next and move themselves out of poverty into more dignified living conditions. We're also committed to building 50,000 affordable housing units in the first 5 years of the next PNP government. And we'll be... And in order to achieve this great challenge, we will be reverting the purpose of the National Housing Trust to that for which it was created in the 1970s by the illustrious former Prime Minister Michael Joshua Manley, where it becomes an important instrument of social engineering in the country to provide affordable homes to Jamaicans who would otherwise not have the opportunity to own their own homes. For some 12 to 13 years now, $11.4 billion has been taken out of the National Housing Trust each year to help fund the budget. It was originally implemented in order to achieve the targets under a very onerous and critical IMF program, but that was supposed to only last for 4 years. And the government of the day, of which I was part, was criticized heavily by the then opposition for doing this. They even took the matter to court through an affiliate and lost the case. Having come to office in 2016, they proceeded to bring legislation not once but twice to extend this for a further period of time, and it is still going on now. And of course, the impact on the Housing Trust has been significant. We see where the Housing Trust now has to outsource the funding of its loans, other than loans at the very lowest category. It has to outsource its loans to the private lending market and provide a subsidy to the private market for interest rates so that borrowers can get the rates that the NHT publishes. This, of course, is really further denuding the National Housing Trust of its resources. And this has to stop. And we're committed to stopping that so that the NHT can fulfill the mandate for which it was established. And we want to recapitalize the National Housing Trust. Having had all these resources taken from it, we want to recapitalize it with public lands that are suitable for housing, not agricultural lands. And then those lands can be developed, and we plan to provide purchasers with value, with equity in the purchase of houses built on those lands, because we will not include the land value in the price of the house. So the first-time buyers will get the benefit of that land value without paying for it. We are also considering a number of very, I think, attractive proposals to help people become owners in the country. So we have our deposit program for first-time buyers who are members who have contributed to the National Housing Trust for at least 2 years and up to age 35. That's where we have it at the moment. We may adjust it upwards, but that's where it is at the moment, where they will be able to access $500,000 as grant funding that they will not have to repay, out of a $1 billion fund that we will replenish annually, to provide them with the funding to help them to pay the deposit, the down payment on their first home. And this is because we are aware that the finding of the money to pay the deposit is one of the burdens one of the hurdles that first-time buyers struggle to overcome. And we have decided to provide this mechanism to help them. We also have the rent-to-own scheme, which would allow persons who may not have a pay slip and are therefore unable to prove their income and qualify for a mortgage to go into possession as a tenant of these houses. And if they are making their monthly payments, which will be fixed at the level that a mortgage payment would be, after a relatively short period of time, we're thinking of 6 months, we will treat them as having established proof of income sufficient to be eligible to draw down on a mortgage and move from being a tenant to being an owner of the home. And this will benefit all sorts of persons who are informally employed, self-employed, or employed in firms that are not well established and don't have the administrative arrangements to generate a pay slip for them. So these are some of the things that we want to do. We want to have a program called the Portia program, which is really looking at inner city communities and ensuring that communities, not just in the inner cities, but across the island, which have conditions which are not in keeping with modern dignified living, we're going to look at improving them. Things like removing zinc fences, putting in adequate street lighting, proper sidewalks, especially for persons with disabilities, and so on, in honor of our much loved former Prime Minister and party leader, Portia Lucretia Simpson Miller. In the area of healthcare, there is a crisis in the country. The Minister of Health is very skillful at public relations, but when you look at the actual conditions that our people face when they have to seek medical care in the public health system, the situation is quite deplorable. There are the long waiting times, to be admitted to a bed for persons who are sick and need to be given a bed where they have to be sitting in a corridor on a bench or in a chair for long periods of time. It's untenable. And then the machinery and equipment at the public hospitals is often not working because it's not been properly maintained. And we have operating theaters which are closed for things like mold, or because air conditioning units are not working or elevators are not working. All of the basics that are required to be looked at after and attended to so that the ordinary Jamaican people who rely on the public health system have access to decent health care in conditions consistent with their integrity as Jamaican citizens. We intend to restore those and make those things back where they should be. We want to have a system of urgent care centers to ease the accident and emergency overcrowding in the major public hospitals, and have an island-wide system of urgent care centers where cases of trauma, injury, or stroke can get immediate attention to stabilize the patient, and then the patient can be moved to a proper hospital environment when their life is no longer in danger. And this will save lives. We want to roll out a national screening program for the main killers in our society: diabetes, which is sugar, hypertension, which is pressure, and of course, cancer of a variety of types. We have a situation in Jamaica today where many people are walking around who don't know that they're diabetic, don't know that they have a problem with hypertension or pressure, or that they have cancer, which if treated early, there would be a very good chance of complete recovery and also a much lower cost of dealing with their illness. But because there's no proper screening system, it's often caught late when it's type 4 and it's metastasized into other parts of the body, and it's a struggle, and very expensive struggle as well for those people. So we want to have a national screening program to
the name you trust to be your friend, to be a partner by your side. For generations we have been the one you trust as your financial guide. Sagicor, building trust for generations, helping hopes and dreams to grow, building our nation. Sagicor's the name you know. Sagicor.
Sagicor, celebrating 55 years.
Building trust for generations.
The data, the 18% of secondary school age students who end up with 5 subjects, including English and maths, meaning that 82% do not achieve even that basic standard. And we've seen recent reports of a high school in Kingston. I won't even call its name because it is not unique. It is one of many high schools across the country with high levels of illiteracy in the school, 60, 70% illiteracy. We have to deal with this situation. And we're looking, in doing so, we have to focus on early childhood development and primary school education and raise standards. We have to raise standards in those schools where the standards are lagging. And we have to look at the training of our teachers and what it takes to ensure that that happens. And we'd have to look at the causes of some of this low performance, including absenteeism. And absenteeism is often driven by poverty, by parents or single parents being unable to afford lunch money, or in the case of rural Jamaica in particular, the cost of transportation to and from school for children, which is why we have developed the EASE program, which will ensure that any child that needs that help will get at least one hot, nutritious meal at school every day that they attend school. And that's at primary and secondary school. We're starting with that, but we intend to also offer breakfast as well as resources become available and the economy improves. And in terms of rural transportation for schoolers, we have the RIDE program where we're starting with a subsidy to subsidize transportation costs for students for up to 20,000 households initially, and we intend to move that number up dramatically as the economy allows us to pay for it. We also want to tackle intergenerational poverty by making it easier for students from lower income families to attend college or university. One aspect of that is reforming the Student Loan Bureau so that some of the fear that people have in borrowing money to invest in their education can be eliminated. We do not think that the risk of poor economic conditions and a poor job market should be borne by our students. The state must bear that risk because it's our responsibility for delivering a strong economy. So if we intend to change the loan terms for student loan borrowers to cap their monthly payment at an affordable percentage of their actual income. And to the extent that they go through a period where they're not working and are unable to pay, they will have their payment obligations will be suspended without any penalties attached and tacked to the back end of their loan so that their credit is not damaged and they can rest assured that once they're back on their feet and resume paying, they will be okay. We also intend to have remove taxes from digital devices for students and teachers, whether it be tablets or laptops, because we do not see how the government should be charging tax on these fundamental tools for learning in the country. And then we have the First in Family program. And the First in Family program is designed to tackle intergenerational poverty by saying that if you are the first person from your family to have qualified and seeking to attend university or college, any tertiary institution, the PNP government will give you a full scholarship so that you can attend and complete your tertiary education. And our idea there is that that student coming from that family will help to raise the standards, the conditions, the prospects of their loved ones and their family, and reduce the risk of poverty transcending from one generation to the next. Education is the antidote to poverty. And we want to encourage our teachers to stay in the Jamaican classrooms. And yes, salaries are an important component of that. And we intend to tackle that as best we can given the fiscal realities. But there are other things that we want to do to show our respect and honor our teachers. We want to, for example, have special arrangements where they are given priority when it comes to housing developed by any public sector agency such as the NHT. We want to also provide them with free internet access by having a bulk arrangement for teachers that we will negotiate with an internet service provider. And we want to give them attractive motor vehicle concessions, which increase in value the longer they stay in the system as teachers, and to reduce their student loan debt the longer they stay in the system as teachers by reducing their principal balance for each year of service. And these are some of our package of measures that we have come up with to make staying in the teaching profession more attractive. So, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, our democracy must breathe. Our young people must believe. Our families must be able to live, work, and dream in Jamaica again. We are not here to beg for power. We're here to restore the balance, to put people before politics, and to say Jamaica deserves better. We are here to rescue Jamaica. Time come.
I sat there taking notes, and I think it is imperative that I caucus this room to see if what resonated with me resonated with you. So I have a simple instruction. So I'm going to tell you what resonated with me, and you can respond with championing change if it resonated with you. Cool? So our leader just presented on housing solutions. 50,000 affordable housing units. Your response is championing change. We spoke about recapitalizing the NHT. And 1 second, you're early. And reverting the NHT back to its original mandate. The People's National Party is? He spoke about the rent-to-own program for the informally employed and otherwise unable to do so. The People's National Party. He spoke about health and education. The People's National Party. So you have just heard a powerful reminder that what's at stake here is bigger than any one person or party, because what's on the ballot is the future of Jamaica. So please give a round of applause to our leader of the opposition and party president. So I have the pleasure of welcoming Dr. Andre Horton, our next presenter, who told me that he'll be speaking on technology and its role in macroeconomic development. Now, what I've always admired about Dr. Horton, because he was at UU and I was as a lecturer, is his ability to break down these big, intimidating terms so that regular people like me, you and I, can understand. And so please make welcome Dr. Andre Horton, Shadow Minister of Science, Technology, Innovation and Entrepreneurship.
Thank you so much, Wayne, for that introduction. Comrades on the platform, comrade leader, my other colleagues, PNP at heart, welcome. Before I get into technology, I just want you to know that we won the court case where my posters are concerned. And they are now going back up. So we're looking good. The People's National Party, we have some really good lawyers. And we know the law. And we don't intend to be bullied by small-minded people. We intend to stand our ground, and we intend to stand up for Jamaica, and we intend to rescue Jamaica from these trivial thinking people. Comrades, we are in grave danger as a nation. And I say so because when you look at how our economy has been managed, especially over the last 9-10 years, you recognize that there has not been a focus on doing what is necessary to improve the lives of the average Jamaican. We have seen where our unemployment rate, as reported by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, is one of the lowest that we've seen in many decades. It's about 4-point-something%. As economists, when we compare this unemployment rate to the national and the natural rate of unemployment for Jamaica, it is below that natural accelerating inflationary rate. And what do we mean? The unemployment rate is very low. However, if you scrutinize the numbers, you would realize that gross domestic product, which is GDP, the amount of people being employed on an annual basis, has increased, but the amount of goods that we're producing has remained the same. Now, in economics, we differentiate between what we call the intensive and the extensive margin. The extensive margin is when you hire more people and these people produce more goods. The intensive margin is when you use the existing amount of people to produce more goods. Now, Jamaica has exhausted what we call the extensive margin because, as you realize, most of the people are employed. And if most of the people are employed and we are still producing the same, it means that we cannot add more people to the production process through the extensive margin. Now, what this means is that we need the people who are currently working to produce more via the intensive margin. And this intensive margin is considered to be an increase in your productivity that increases your output. And the number one factor that contributes to the increase in the extensive margin is technology. When you look at the Asian tigers, you look at countries like China, you look at countries like South Korea, whose GDP back in 1950s was 158 US dollars per person. Today, South Korea's GDP per capita is over 34,000 US dollars per person. And how were they able to accomplish this? You look at Singapore, it tells a similar story. A country being dissected from their motherland, the Philippines, and they themselves had to make some really important choices to improve the lives of their people. Among those choices was one, they made a pledge to retain the youngest and the brightest. And not only to retain them, but to attract outsiders who are young and bright to contribute to the development of that country. Today, Singapore boasts one of the most technologically advanced economies in the world. And sometimes when we juxtapose the Jamaican scenario with Singapore, it sounds cliche. However, if you recognize that both of us have the same potential, and Jamaican people also has the ability that has been displayed by a lot of these Asian people. But guess what happens? Young people in Jamaica feel disenfranchised from the productive process. Many of us believe that our voices are not being heard in the right places, and even if our voices are heard in the right places, we are not being given the ability to contribute our expertise and skill in a willful manner towards the holistic advancement of the particular industries in which we work. And as a result, many of us find it easier to get employment abroad, take a flight, go to the United States. We get 4 times the amount of income. We get more appreciation for the effort that we put in, and our abilities are better compensated and accepted. But today, I stand here to say to you that this People's National Party government has recognized that. And I am a symbol of how the People's National Party has entrusted their real understanding and their understanding of who we are, and entrusted responsibility on our young people. You have myself, you have young Waynet here, you have young Senator Gabriel Morris, and a host of other young people that the PNP has given voice in this political movement and has empowered us with the ability to say that, yes, young people, there is a place for you in Jamaica. And these are things that we cannot overlook, right? Because we want to ensure that just as how Singapore were able to move their GDP per capita from less than 1,000 US dollars per person to over 100,000 US dollars per person, just as how other countries have been able to improve their GDP per capita, Jamaica too has the ability. Our current GDP per capita stands at about 7,000 US dollars per person per annum. In order for us to achieve our Vision 2030 goals, we need our GDP per capita to move from that 7,000 per person to at least 13,000 per person, which means that 7 plus 7, 14, right? So we need GDP per capita to practically double in less than 6 years. Now, my research has shown that this is going to be practically impossible, especially with the trajectory that Jamaica has been on over the last 10 years. However, we can pivot and we can evolve. In mathematics, what we say that when you have a particular economy moving in a particular trajectory, there are no points of discontinuity, but there are turning points and change in trajectory. And that is what the People's National Party means when we say that we want to rescue Jamaica. We want to increase the income of the average citizen, and we want to improve how much each person earns per capita per annum. And that is fundamental. Now, how are we going to achieve this? We're going to achieve this through science, technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. We are already entrepreneurs, and we already have our innovative approach to every type of industry in this country. All that we need is support. First, we want to start with education, right? We want to start with innovation in education because the world is changing. We are now moving into the fourth and the fifth industrial revolution at the same time. And Jamaica missed the technology boat in the 1950s when these countries, the Singapore, the China, the Japan, the Taiwan, the South Korea were jumping on the technology boat. Jamaica jumped on the banana boat. And that has restricted our ability.
Add text anywhere in the document. Use the eraser tool to erase anything on the form. It's even easy to add a signature by drawing, typing, uploading, or using your webcam. When you're finished, just click Done to save and export.
A measly $50,000. The difference here is that Singapore exported a container of microchips while Jamaica exported a container of banana chips. And we have to, as a country, evolve from the banana chips mentality, something that we economists refer to as the plantation economy. It's just a different figure of speech. It's just a different way of articulating the same point. But we must now begin to appreciate the ambition of our people. And what we're seeing is that the government boasts so much about low unemployment is that they really don't get the picture of the ambition that dwells within each Jamaican and what is it that we want for ourselves, our communities, our towns and cities, and by far our country. So when they talk about minimum wage and they speak about increasing it from $15,000 per week to $16,000 per week, that's $100 per week. That's $400 per month. 12 4 is 48. Oh my God, if you're working minimum wage, it means that you're working about $5,000 per year. And it sounds a bit trivial, doesn't it? Hard working Jamaicans, well-thinking Jamaicans, Jamaicans with ambition to be their best selves are restricted to the idea of minimum wage. This PNP government has recognized that minimum wage cannot take us far, that exhausting the extensive margin and employing our people for twopence, I say name? Twopence? Employing our people for twopence is a 1960s, 1860s, 1760s type of mentality. The world is now using the Internet of Things, using the fourth and the fifth industrial revolution to create what we call unicorns. Unicorns are companies that make over $1 billion in no time. When you look at Jamaica's GDP, our GDP is about $18 billion. We can round it off to 20. And it has been the government's ambition since they came into power in 2016 to achieve 5% growth. They dubbed it 5 in 4, and they wanted to achieve that 5% growth by 2020, right? It is now 2025, and we're still stuck at our usual 1% growth. It shows you gross mismanagement of the macroeconomy, right? And its lack of understanding, because when they came with the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, we recognized the flaw and said that ministry, if it is to be articulated properly, should be the Ministry of Wealth Creation and Economic Development, because those two phrases are the phrases that are going to allow employment to take place, and most fundamentally, GDP growth to take place. So we're talking about technology. We need technology in education to help our students to learn. We need them now to move from that 18% who graduate with CXCs to at least 70% graduating with CXCs. We need proper AI systems to check and balance all the students coming from the communities who are going to school to be registered at school, to make sure that they are in class learning, and also support services. Because as an educator myself, I can tell you that there is a silent revolution taking place in how people are educated. The days of dictating to people and chalk and cheese and so on, it's a thing of the past. These students are learning far faster than we are, and they have far greater resources, and it's up to us not to belittle technology and keep Jamaica behind, but it's up to us to embrace technology learning and to give our young people the foundation that they need and to support them using artificial intelligence, because many teachers believe that artificial intelligence is going to compete with the student and also compete with them. No. Artificial intelligence is a tool that is going to allow the students to learn more information per unit of time and allowing them to become more productive. Because productivity and the intensive margin is what our aim should be geared towards extending. Technology in finance, very important. We're losing the ability of cash to move quickly. Gone are the days you want to transact business and you send the money through the bank transfer and the person is in the line waiting from 9 p.m. You send the money from 8 a.m. in the morning, and sometimes it goes through, sometimes it does not. We need financial solutions that are quick and right on spot. And the People's National Party recognize this, because we need fintech solutions. We can't say, okay, somebody wants to do something in Montego Bay. We go to the bank 9 a.m. in the morning. We send the money. The money is not going to them until 3 p.m. that afternoon. That is slowing up the locomotion of the lifeblood of the economy, which is money. So financial technology is going to be very important if this country wants transactions to move faster and they want more output per unit of time. We love the agricultural industry, and technology in agriculture is number one on our list as well. Our leader spoke of it. He's going to prepare an agriculture fund, and this fund is going to be used to improve how technology is assisting the agricultural industry to grow. Jamaica agricultural industry depends on water, it depends on inputs, right? And it faces challenges, drought sometime, flood sometime. Prices are high in July, prices are high in December. Prices high in July because of drought, prices high in December because of flood rains that damage the crops. We need now these micro dams that Michael Manley spoke about. They are relevant in the 1970s and they are now relevant in 2025 with the infusion of smart technology that will track and monitor how water is distributed to these crops, that will allow us to grow more crops per unit of time, allow us to grow more crops per space, because technology has assisted many countries around the world to improve their agricultural output, and technology will allow Jamaica to improve its agricultural output. Fundamental. Technology in healthcare. One of my uncles died yesterday. He went to the Cornwall Regional Hospital. He was healthy on Sunday. All of us eat Sunday dinner, all a good time. Yesterday morning, him say him chest a tighten up, and him go Cornwall Regional Hospital, and by 8 p.m. him dead. This is very disheartening to me. I'm standing here in front of you with tears in the back of my eyes, because the healthcare system, and we cannot reiterate how this government is PRing their way through the healthcare system while innocent Jamaicans are dying left, right, and center. And well-thinking people like ourselves are standing on the sidelines and are saying that, oh, and that is a problem I have with nationwide news too. Because when Cliff Hughes talk about Christopher Tufton, oh, is the best thing since sliced bread, oh, is it this, is it that? And then when we go on this program to talk, oh, it's because you're unpopular, where you come on the station, it's like they approach them who are not doing anything with a positive mind, and us who mean the country so much, they try to infuse negative when they try to speak to us, and I don't like it. I don't like it. And that is the problem that we've had with a lot of these people who are not fair in how they go about discussing the business of the country. And those are the things that have held Jamaica back, and it will continue to hold us back if we don't hold these people accountable with their biased utterances. Comrades, technology is important to every single industry. And what we have done thus far is to map out all the industries and how technology can help them to grow. We have to develop a spatial plan that looks at all the industries in every parish. And as I said to you before, if we have a GDP of $20 billion, all it takes for it to increase by 5% is to grow it by $1 billion per year. The same billion of which we speak. And we have the plans. If we have 14 parish, it means that we only need, say, less than 100 billion per parish in order for us to grow by that 5%. Westmoreland alone, when we improve and increase the ability for us to earn from nutraceutical products, from pharmaceutical products, and we create the industry, Westmoreland alone will give us the ability to grow by 5%, let alone the other parishes. Believe in the People's National Party plans, believe in our ability to articulate our plans and to infuse our plans, and believe in your own potential, because the People's National Party is here to provide the resources that would catapult you and your family, not just to get jobs, not just to become a part of the working poor, but for you to elevate from the lower class to the middle class, and from the middle class to the upper class. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Lots of blessings, and keep positive every time.
That was inspiring, wasn't it? So because you're so inspiring, I'm going to return your phone. So thank you, Dr. Horton, for that inspiring, captivating, and simple but elevating, simple but not simplistic. Was I right when I told you he was able to break down those intimidating terms? And so thank you for breaking it down so clearly. Real economic growth happens at the intensive margin.
Get BCIC Smalls, the lowest third-party insurance in Jamaica for as low as $50 a day. Switch and save with BCIC. Sign up today at your nearest BCIC branch.
The building. So a round of applause to Dr. Andre Horton once more. So on the 5 Gs of the cultural economy, we have Dr. Deborah Hickling Gordon, Shadow Minister on Culture and Creative Industries, coming to us. Please make her feel welcomed. And we ask for her presentation at this time.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Party leader, colleagues, all. As Andre said, those who are comrade-minded, ladies and gentlemen. One of the things that I have found out going around the country supporting a number of the candidates who are running for the People's National Party, as I'm not running myself, but I have put myself forward as the representative for the cultural and creative industries. That's my non-geographical constituency. I found that there are a lot of people who don't know what the cultural and creative industries actually are. So I'm going to use an example to see if I can get everyone in this room, particularly those of us from our movement, to understand exactly how the two concepts come together. Last week, a song dropped. It came out of a movement. It came out of a heart movement to rescue Jamaica. It came out of a fervor of a people who had said enough is enough. And this song is not a new song. It's not a contemporary song. It come from a long time. And those of us who sang it, or those who sang it, because I wasn't one of them, those who sang it before know what it means. And it have deep and resonant meaning. And it has deep and resonant meaning to people who are of the People's National Party. Because that's who they are. That's who we are. The ideas encapsulated in that song are about what we feel and we know and we think instinctively, right? But then we remix the song. And a new generation come and take up on being a blood and fire comrade. And it means something different to this new generation. It means commitment in our blood. It means passion as fire, right? That's all it means. And anybody who tries to change the meaning of that can come out and walk with us as we seek to rescue Jamaica. Now, that's what culture and creative industries is. It is what we feel, what we know, who we are, what we believe, what we do, how we behave, how we think, how we move. But it is also the production of that expression into a tangible form that we can listen to, that we can hear, that we can post, that we can send, that we can sell. Yes, and that's the creative economy side, because we're creating value out of what we feel. Now, that's culture and creative industries, and it's time we take it seriously. It's time we recognize that there's great value in that process of taking what we feel and understanding that what we feel is not something that we need to be ashamed of, because it's not empirical, and because we can't count it, and because we can't hold it and we can't feel it, because it's of us. Yeah? And that's why we have to invest in it. So that's culture and creative industries. I'm an audiovisual, everything. I have been a television producer for many years, so I think in pictures and I think in visuals. And so I want to share a little presentation with you. We're at a turning point, ladies and ladies and gentlemen, Jamaicans all. The next administration is going to determine how the cultural and creative sector urgently receives the required structured investment, formalization, and development to grow. In order to grow, these are the things it's going to require. And I usually say when I'm speaking to people, particularly people in civil society, that whatever government comes to power, and we know which it will be, there is going to have to be a level of investment in culture and creative industries. And we're going to have to grasp it and be clear about that. And so we have to understand what that means. What we did is we put together a team. The party leader named a spokesperson's team, and we put together a task force. And we looked at the culture and creative industries, who we are, and the creative expression that exists. And we decided that it was clear 10 years ago, Most Honorable Portia Simpson Miller came to understand that the thing was fragmented. There were a number of different voices that were speaking to the issues of culture and creative expression. And she put together what she called the National Cultural and Creative Industries Commission. And it brought all the ministries, there were 6 of them together, to deal with putting together policy. But other things she did, which was really revolutionary and important, is that she decided that we needed to get all of the professional organizations in culture, music, art, the filmmakers, the persons in media and so on, bring them together so that they would be a part of the decision making. And some of the ministers who were there at that time are in this room at the moment. And they all came together and started to put together a framework. We left this framework for this government in 2016. We also left a number of ideas, including the ideas coming out of the Ministry of Tourism and Entertainment, like the special entertainment zones that Damian Crawford had authored. And there were other programs coming out of the Ministry of Youth and Culture that were very, very important in terms of determining who we were. And we wanted to bring them all together under a framework. The Prime Minister did that through the NCCIC. Now, 10 years later, that commission has never, ever met, not once. It was not recommissioned. And what that means is that there has been very little, and certainly very little formal participatory governance in terms of an institutional framework for cultural and creative practitioners to be a part of the decision making for their sector. And this is one of the first things that we are going to seek to do, to bring back the National Cultural and Creative Industries Commission to ensure that cultural and creative practitioners are a part of their own decision making. Now, this team that was put together, we started to look at what Comrade Julian Robinson spoke to us about in terms of the sustainable growth strategy, education, energy, emerging industries, and efficiency. And most of us are represented here today. Emerging industries would include technology and the cultural and creative industries. So we took that on, and we took on the party leader's notion of what he meant when he said he wanted to see change. And we started to look at the cultural and creative industries. And one of the things that I found most of all is that the cultural and creative industries, there's a major issue in culture and creative industries. There are some people who believe in art for art's sake and culture on its own, and culture as something that is organic and is a part of us and should not be included in the issues of money and economy, which you see on the other side of the scale. As a government, as a modern government, one of the things that we have to do is find the appropriate balance. And so that's another one of the issues that we have found that we're going to be using to move the culture and creative industries forward. Because we can't neglect the notion that we're in a situation where we have to be growing our economy. And in growing our economy, we have to diversify our economy. And that simply means, as Andre said, we need to be finding new ways to be able to grow our economy, and the cultural and creative industries is one of those. Why? Because it is our competitive and comparative advantage. And what that means is we are good at it. We do it well. We spread our culture and creative industries to the world, and people know us for it. Whenever we go anywhere in the world, somebody's going to say to us, Bob Marley, or they're going to say to us, Usain Bolt. These are the people who become important as a part of the cultural and creative sector. So we have to find the balance. It is a $3 trillion US industry. At the moment, based on some of the calculations that have been done, it's up to about over 9% of because the work has not been done in the last 10 years to determine what the real value of culture and creative industries is. So that's another thing. Industries, which means we have at least 60 industries from the culture and creative industries. Now, if we look at 60 industries, building out 60 industries, we see an immediate path to growth. When we put together the elements of the emerging industries, we see that we are well over 20% of GDP. We have to formalize these figures. We have to ensure that the numbers are clear, but very little work has been done to put these figures together in the last 10 years. Why? There's been no policy. There's been no plan. There's been no strategy. There's been no structure. And this is why, as the party leader said in his presentation to Parliament, that cultural and creative industries, they continue to grow, but in spite of government intervention, because very little is done to coalesce the culture and creative industries. So there are a number of things that we have to do. These are some of the things that we need to do. We need to create a strong ethical base. We hear the songs on the radio. The other day, I was driving down the road and I stopped beside a bus. The bus black, tint up. And I can't even begin to tell you some of the music that was coming out of the bus. And we know that there are laws that should prevent that. But there also has to be an element from a cultural perspective to see how we can make some of those changes and influence some of the change that is required in terms of an ethical base in our cultural and creative industries. We need a national framework. We need to eliminate what we see now as arbitrary projects, projects that have no real end game. So you have a very important insurance scheme that we would have mooted as a part of our framework in 2015, but without a sustainability framework. Yeah, you see, there are career schemes with no throughput to where the children who go to the career fair and watch the career fair and have a great time, what do they do next? How do they now know how they are going to move forward in their careers? We need a facilitatory government role, which means we need the government to be able to facilitate and assist cultural and creative practitioners to move themselves forward, whether they are having round robins, or they are having a sound system, or they're a filmmaker, or they are a TikToker. That one has been getting a lot of attention lately. Whether they're making music or beats, or they're into art, or they're into some of the other technical areas, animation and so on. We need to be able to engage the private sector to have it understand how important culture and creative industries, and we need to be moving towards social integration. So how are we going to do it? When we started our work, one of the things that we determined is that there are a lot of prescriptions, and have been for over a decade, as to how to grow the culture and creative industries. But as to what needs to happen, and we decided that we were going to take a look at how we were going to do it. And we decided that we're going to create a roadmap to culture, a roadmap to moving towards development of culture and creative industries. And we're starting with nurturing greatness. Every time we go around the country, we see all these people who have this phenomenal talent, and there's no throughput. There's no way for them to move their talent forward. It's not a clear path. So we want to be able to put in programs, and we have a series of them that's going to help individuals matriculate right through the system to be able to participate in culture and creative industries. And like I say, each one of these has a number of programs to achieve these particular goals. The second one is to ground cultural and creative industries in the communities. In the past decade, culture has been absolutely removed from the communities and has been centralized. So we want to see the JCDC back in the communities. We want to see the municipal councils having more street dances at the end for the special holidays. We want to see the float parades back in the communities. We want to see the community centers being used in ways that culture and creative industries and sport and social transformation programs and citizen security programs all come together to ensure that our communities come alive again. I recently moved to a rural community, and I am saddened. I'm really saddened by the ways in which our rural communities have lost their verve, have lost some of their energy, and it's really important and incumbent on us. As we move around the country too, I've been to a couple of constituencies where we recognize that each constituency has its own cultural flavor. And there is the means by which we can have creative or cultural districts. So when I went to Comrade Pat's constituency, we toured the entire area of where Bedward and got the full story of Bedward. But guess what? See the grass here? On top of Bedward's grave, you can't get to the grave. And the same is true for most of the heritage sites around the country. It is heart-rending, heart-breaking to see some of it. Comrade Ethne, we went to Comrade Ethne, and it's a different flavor. Entrepreneurship right across the Henny Park. On one corner, you have a museum. On another corner, you have a bar. On another corner, you have a place where it's really a dust bowl at the moment. But we sat and we spoke about it. Why we can't have a creative district in the Henny Park where you leave the museum and go to the bar, and then there's a performance at the over where is now a dust bowl? Why can't we be using these spaces in order to create wealth and to create value for people within communities? So that's the second one, and that's the one I'm really most passionate about in terms of materializing. The third one is going for growth, putting in the structures. This is a technical one. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, and I'm not going to try to explain it here, but it's a very technical process of trying to onboard cultural and creative industries as a part of the economy. It's something that I've spoken a great deal with the party leader who understands this process, because this is what he does. He's a solutions man. And this is one of the areas it's going to take a lot of research. It's going to take a lot of legislation. And this is where the $1 billion fund comes in, where we're going to be growing businesses, cultural and creative businesses, from little small businesses of all cultural and creative stripes. Yes, from every sector. And we're going to be ensuring that they're getting technical assistance. We're going to be ensuring that they're getting loans and grants, and that they're going to be able to move forward, move their businesses forward. The fourth node is governance. Now, that's actually one of the biggest problems we have in cultural and creative industries. It's not the sexiest, but it is the most critical, because we have a problem with transparency, a big problem with transparency. We don't know a lot about what's happening within the administrative bodies, institutions that run culture and creative industries. And a lot of times those questions are asked and there is a blank wall. So for example, I've asked about Vale Royal and its contents. And at this point, I'm yet to hear what the situation is with that. And there are many other questions about transparency, inclusion. People who complain about being blacklisted can't get emails that are not being answered. People who feel that they can't go to the ministry because, you know, although it is said there is an open door policy that is only friend and company, and some people, right, that the inclusion issues at the ministry, there are real problems, and they're easily denied. I have an open door policy. Yeah, they're easily denied. But there are people who quietly will tell you the truth. And the last one is going global. And that is about creating an enabling environment that allows for trade, marketing, helping cultural and creative practitioners get what they need, the services they need, through the recommissioning of a body called Jamaica Creative. We're going to redesign it and rework it so that it provides investment services, so that investment readiness services, so that businesses can now start to bring they can start to bring their businesses to trade in local and overseas markets. It's also, I spoke to a comrade today, Ricky Chin, and we spoke about things like creating IP facilitation in that unit so that all of those artists who have had major problems in the past with their intellectual property and collecting royalties across the world, that we look at working with JIPO to see how we can assist some of them to repatriate some of those. Has been a holistic examination, looking at the whole picture, understanding that technology can't work without creativity, because you can't have animation without the soundtrack, you can't have animation without the design, you can't have animation without the various technical elements, the various creative elements, the storyline. And everything we do here in cultural and creative industries is about telling a story in a different way. And we have stories galore in this country. We have more stories than we can ever imagine. I remember saying to my sister the other day that if we were to just take the stories and try and find different media through which to create those stories, just one story at a time, how much value we could create in this country. And that value is not only monetary value, because again, I end where I started. That value of the story translated to a product or a service, it tells us and allows us to share locally and in the diaspora who we are. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to leave you with the final film. If the culture is who we are, our spirit, our story, our strength. And it's time we treat it that way. PNP introduces Project G, a 5G cultural economy strategy. It's the beating heart of the PNP's 4E Sustainable Growth Plan and emerging industry. We begin by nurturing greatness, building cultural confidence, protecting heritage, nurturing talent at every level, grounding, reviving the cultural soul and the economy of communities and towns island-wide, growth, structuring the cultural economy to unlock wealth through creative enterprises, backed by a preliminary $1 billion development fund. Good governance, bringing structure, fairness, participation, coordination, clarity, inclusion, and in particular, transparency to cultural leadership. Global reach, expanding our influence through strategy, investment, infrastructure, technology, and trade. This is Jamaica's time. This is Jamaica's plan. This is Project G.
Our culture is our competitive and comparative advantage. A round of applause for our presenter, Shadow Minister Dr. Deborah Pickling Gordon. Housekeeping, kind reminder that we are streaming live. You are in the palms and in the homes of hundreds of people. So please adjust yourselves to that reality so that we don't have any screenshots or screen grabs of things you wouldn't want to otherwise see on the internet. Yes? Also, kind reminder to please have your phones on silent. And also, we welcome our online audience and to the People's Forum. Let us know where you're tuning in from, and also let us know what's resonating with you so far. I saw some insightful comments, and I just want to, these usernames are very funny, but I just want to acknowledge Funny Bunny, Dennis Williams, and Lady J Love. Thank you for being so interactive. We now welcome our final presenter to bring what he terms an electrifying presentation to you. And he is, I don't think I need to, he's the energy boss himself. He's Philip Paulwell, Shadow Minister on Energy and Climate Change.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. I greet the future Prime Minister of Jamaica, who, my colleague panelists, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I believe you've gotten enough, more than enough reasons to vote for the PNP already this evening. Such absorbing, informative, dynamic presentation as from our party leader and from two persons who remind me when I was youthful, etc. So I am not going to, in any way, try to give a fulsome presentation at this stage, because the important aspect of this forum is also to hear from you. And so at the end of my presentation, you're going to see a QR code appearing on the screen. Just take a photograph of that. It is going to take you to my website where you'll see the presentation among other presentations. Because we have not been here just opposing. We have been planning to return to government, and that's where we are now. Things are tough for the Jamaican people. Times are hard. Our cost of living has been a tremendous burden to our poor people. And you know, I'm a 6th term member of parliament, going for my 7th term. And my most challenging term has been this term. People used to come, yes, they need help to going back to school. We assist them with roofs because those get damaged. But it's the first term that I'm experiencing so many of my constituents come to me to say, MP, I'm hungry. I want some food. And these guys, they don't understand why people are going to vote them out, because people are suffering, people are hungry, and this hollowing of prosperity, pun intended, aggravates people. It is in the era of energy that we have seen the tremendous impact of cost of living. And it's twofold, because yes, as consumers of electric energy at home, we have seen from 2016, when the price of electricity was about 23 US cents per kilowatt hour, 2016, to today, it's 40 cents and climbing. And that affects everything else. So when you go to buy sugar, when you go to take a taxi, it affects all the goods and services that we produce. And it is also largely responsible for our lack of growth. So it's two things. You have the cost of living going up, driven largely by energy, and you have no growth taking place. So even those persons who are employed, their income is not improving because there is stagnation in our economy. And today we are presenting to you certain, I believe, clear strategy to address that. And I welcome this, even though I'd have preferred to have a debate with the Minister of Energy. So I'm using this opportunity to once again to call out Darrell. Come and debate me in front of our studio audience, where people can ask questions and we can answer questions. We have a lot of work to do. And there are certain things operating in our favor. Firstly, we have the emerging JPSCO license that, in many respects, has prevented us from doing some of the things that we want to do. But unlike the cable and wireless license, which still would have been running because that license would have expired in 2038. And thank God we had a government that had a vision. And as I say that, I'm so happy to see Yvonne McCullough-Sobers, who was the first chairman of the e-learning company. And of course, they were twinned with Universal Service Fund. And I and the government were the proud parents of those two institutions that continue to serve the country. Very good to see Yvonne. But an important date is emerging when the government of Jamaica, by the 7th of July, must indicate to JPSCO what it is going to be doing with the license. And all I'm hearing is that consultations are taking place. This consultation, if I were a minister, would have taken place in 2023. And we'll be in a position today to say to JPSCO, here is the plan. Here are the negotiating terms we are proposing. And just as we did with cable and wireless, to sit down and to make sure that the Jamaican people benefit in the long run. And what are some of the things we want to do? Firstly, when you go to pay your electricity bills today, 20% of that bill is not from electricity that you use, It is from electricity theft. And I really believe that in this day and age, electricity must be a right, and it must be afforded to those persons who can't afford it. And there are solutions to that. We have seen
every generation brings new hopes and ambitions. For 55 years, Sagicor has been helping Jamaicans to realize their dreams. As we celebrate our past, we look forward to continuing that legacy of trust, providing support and financial solutions for the next generation to succeed. Sagicor, building trust, one generation at a time.
at a fraction of the cost. And today, with the improvement in the technology for solar panels, and the price has come down, with the improvement in the technology for inverters that convert the solar into direct energy, and very importantly, with the improvement in the technology for storage. That was a problem that we faced with renewables. That yes, the sun shines only in the daytime, the wind sometimes don't blow, but we could not capture and store that energy for when the sun is down or the wind is not blowing. We have seen in the last 5 years, the government hasn't seen it as yet, but we have seen the dramatic improvement in the technology for storage, batteries, so that today, if you have enough batteries, you can be supplying electricity for 24/7. And we're going to be utilizing solar to effect rapid changes in those communities that cannot afford electricity. And we're going to be establishing mini grids using solar, and we're going to be enabling our people who can't afford it, who have to be running and hiding when they see police coming, to pull down the wires. That will be a thing of the past. But very importantly, we want to empower you, every single Jamaican. And I'm going to tell you why it won't put JPS out of business. But we want to empower you to generate your own electricity. And that is what we call power for the people. Power for the people. And we are coming up with a creative scheme to assist you in funding. Not going to be entirely free. But the good thing about what we are planning to do is that we are going to enable you as well, apart from providing your own electricity, to generate sufficient so that you can sell additional electricity to the grid. So you're becoming a producer rather than just a consumer of electricity. We say power for the people. Power to the people. And then there are some other things that we have to do in the reforms that will have to occur. Right now, JPSCO has this right of first refusal, so that whenever you need additional capacity, they have a preferred right. We have to abolish that. You know I believe in competition. So it's going to be subject to full competition, and whoever comes with the best technology and the cheapest price will be those generation that will be procured and will be supplied to the grid. So that's one area. Secondly, we believe that our special economic zones have not done as well as was intended because of the high cost of electricity. We believe that as we move for growth, we have to empower these zones to generate their own electricity. And so there's going to be a special carve-out, just as though each of you will be able to do your own generation. We're going to empower those people who operate in the special economic zone to generate their own electricity as well. There are so many other aspects of energy that we really ought to talk about, but I'm mindful of the time. So let me now shift a little to two important areas: the environment, and the environment is not a third cousin. It's going to be front and center to all that we do as a government. And of course, climate change. The environment, we have a tremendous responsibility, recognizing that whatever we do to increase our capacity to grow could have a negative impact on the environment. But we're all about sustainable growth. And I know whenever a cabinet submission is placed before Mark Golding, he's going to be asking 2 or 3 critical questions. What impact will this have on our environment? And how are we going to mitigate that impact? He's also going to be asking Floyd, what impact will this have on our disabled community and the elderly? right? But we're talking about the environment now. We have to ensure that our laws are enforced because we do have elaborate laws, detailed laws that are not being observed. So recently, they went into my constituency and at Fort Rocky. And overnight, they dug up the mangrove without regard to the law and to the environment. That can't work any longer. That will not work any longer. We have to ensure that where people are allowed to mine, they mine there and leave the other areas so that they can be preserved for future generations. I'll say a word about climate change. Now, many people hear about climate change and they don't understand how it relates to you, your lives. Climate change is an existential threat to mankind, and it is as serious as that. And unlike the environment, where we have greater control and we have a tremendous responsibility, our contribution to climate change is minuscule. We don't generate enough industrial activity to affect the tremendous growth in carbon dioxide in the atmosphere or to the greenhouse gas effect that results in the earth warming at record levels. So we're experiencing more drought, more ferocious hurricanes, etc., etc. These are things that the first world countries ought to bear a greater burden and responsibility to deal with. And they're not. Unfortunately, we are hearing only one voice in our region who speak about this. Thank God we have the Prime Minister of Barbados. But that used to be Jamaica's role. That used to be Jamaica's position. And we need to see it in the very same way as Norman Manley and Michael saw apartheid. That you have to mobilize the world community. You have to articulate, and you have to go and fight and struggle for the industrialized countries to recognize that it can't be business as usual for them, but very importantly, that they need to put in place corrective measures for mitigation and so on. And I believe that they are being let off the hook. And they've been let off the hook by our government as well. And we need to be bold and fierce in saying to these industrialized countries, you have to take greater responsibility for what is imminent, what is going to destroy mankind in climate change. Such a pleasure to be here in front of you. I hope your energy is still high. Thank you very much.
The People's National Party is giving power to the people. Just a kind reminder, so fitting. There's a QR code on the screen. Please scan to read more from our Shadow Minister on Energy and Climate. Now, as I had mentioned earlier, we've heard powerful presentations tonight, grounded in vision and data, and rooted in the values we believe will move Jamaica forward. And so now it's your turn. We're going to be opening up the floor for the people session, because your voice matters, your questions deserve answers, and this movement is built with you, not just for you. And so a few housekeeping rules, which I believe I need to establish so that we can have free and fair questions and answers. So keep it respectful, that's one. Once you identify yourself, we have a roving mic on my left and on my right, and we also should have a mic in the middle where you can, okay, no problem, where you can go to and ask your questions. We ask that you keep your questions to maximum 2. Please be direct with who you're directing your questions to. Please identify your name, well, identify yourselves and the group that you're from. So whether you are from a civil group, whether you are just a citizen, whether you are from a party group, we'll also be taking questions online if we're able to. And so you can consider the floor open, and we have our first question on my Right. Your left.
My fellow student, Mr. Philipponia, Excelsior High School. Oh, yes.
You are going to come under some pressure. You're going to hear all kinds of propaganda. You're going to hear all kinds of lies and deception. There will be tactics used to try and buy you out. There will be tactics used to try and frighten you away. And I only have to say one thing to you tonight, comrades. We are blood and fire comrades, and we're marching on to progress. And we will stand firm. We will not be bought because we are not for sale.
Jamaica, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. Everything them broke down, we are go build back. You know, Jamaica, I'm going to say this tonight to all of you. Good night to my production team, my admin, my producer. Courtney don't reach yet, but I know he's on his way because I told him I'm starting at 9 o'clock. I'll say this, Jamaica, that I really, over the weekend, I really became totally despondent. But Claudette came to me this evening. Whilst I was laying down, and she said, you have one more fight for fight. You have come this very far, Andre. You can't give up this fight. I say that to say, Jamaica, that even in her time of bereavement, she's there to encourage and remind me of my mission. She's there to say, Andre, you have to hold firm and you have to do this. Not just for Tyne, but the many mothers in this country, the many children in this country, the many elders who have died because of negligence, because there's not enough equipment in our hospitals. And you know, as I start tonight, there is a harlot. She asked me not to address it. But I believe if I don't address it, I wouldn't be Andre Stevens. There is a harlot. And you know what a harlot is. There is a harlot on social media seeking relevance out of the death of Claudette's daughter and mother. I will say to that harlot, I will say to that spirit of Jezebel, I will say to that harlot, and I will say to that woman, not that creature that walks with the spirit of Jezebel, you might attempt you might have gotten away with it and troll other platforms, harlot and Jezebel. But I will say to you, harlot, I will say to you, Jezebel, wrong person you're coming after. Wrong person you're coming after. Let the woman mourn her. Let the woman mourn her daughter. Let the woman mourn her mother. You come at the wrong gate, you come at the wrong address. I have Pitbull, I have Shih Tzu. I have Doberman. I have mongrel. And if I say attack, they will unleash on you. Leave Claudette alone and let she mourn. Jezebel. I'm not going to even call your name here. I'm not going to give you that relevance. Because what you want is relevance to troll like how you troll others. And others ignore you for years. And I am going to say to you, wrong gate, wrong address. And if you continue, I want to say to you, harlot, if you continue, I want to say witch, because you operate in witchdom. Attacking it from a spiritual perspective, Attacking everything in the Bible that speaks to a dark woman, a nasty woman. So therefore, you're getting the alignment of all the names from biblical reference. Jezebel. I'm not even going to call you Delilah because you have no beauty. Your beauty is like a witch, dried up. When you look at you, you're dried up, you're unhappy, you're bitter, filled with vitriol, filled with hate. When you look at you, you look like something. And anybody wants to be misogynistic tonight? It's not misogynistic. People must know them place and time. And the utterances you have made. You operate as a Jezebel, walking as a harlot. And you're operating in witchdom. You have no soul. You are lifeless. You are empty. You are parasitic. You try to find your next victim so you can troll them to get relevance. And I am saying to you, cockroach. I am saying to you, Tootsie. I am saying to you, drunker and vulture. I'm saying to you, you nasty leopard, you snake-like character. Wrong address. I never needed to come and tell you or call your name cockroach. The whole of social media know that you're a literal cockroach. And you're not just a cockroach, you're a teenager. You fester in a people's life. And when you're just open, you're like, but I'm going to say, I have a pyro for you, I have a pyro for you, nasty, dirty teenager, grasmite vampire. Let me talk tonight, Jamaica. And as what Uncle Derek say, you're like a crowbait. You're of no relevance and of no moment. Anyone, Jamaica, see somebody mourning the death. And it's not as though Claudette just mourning one death. She's mourning two. And you're lifeless and empty, filled with bitterness, that you don't understand emotional intelligence, you don't understand compassion. You are so insensitive that everything you do, you try to sully people's name. You're not going to be able to do it to anyone who have a partner draw TV. And the only reason why you're doing it is because Claudette had an affiliation with Donna. And because you have that hatred for Donna, you decide, say, you're going to attack Claudette because she was an affiliate to Donna. You have no emotional intelligence to know when to stop, when to shut up, and when to keep your mouth. You're coming like a maggot. You're coming like a maggot. There is nothing good aligned or associated with you. You're like an imbecile. So because of the hatred of Auntie Donna, you decide now, oh, it's time to go after Claudette. You're like a cancer. You're parasitic. You're like a mange. So you could go even further. You could do anything you want to do and talk what you want to talk. But your character reminds me of the cesspool. The shit water all about. That is what your life and your character is like. I don't need to call your name. I now don't need to carry to your level. But I can tell you, Dranko, Grasmite, Jezebel, Harlot, your day is coming. Your day is coming. And do you think I'm going to do like others do? Don't worry yourself. You are going to see how we deal with you. You are going to see how we deal with you. God and time. God and time go and fix your business. God and time. So where you come from, send it back. Send it back. Back to the sender. We're sending you back into your cave. We're sending you back into your dark hole so that you can go find somebody else. And you know, we're going to neuter your spirit. And everyone who is a spiritual person, we're going to rise up those names in prayer and let God fix them. You hear what I said? So I am going to start the show. But before I start the show, we have one duty to do.
But where they come from, send it back, send it back. Every evil arrow, anywhere he come from, send it back. If a China, if a Jamaica, if a Haiti, where he come from, we send it back. Turn, reverse the curse. Reverse the curse, reverse the order, reverse the curse, reverse the order. Somebody say, reverse the curse, yeah. Reverse the order. Somebody reverse the curse. Reverse the order over Jamaica. Reverse the curse, mighty God. Reverse the order. If a king's house, if a garden house, if I'm the prime minister, if I'm the opposition, if I'm a politician, if I'm the lawyer, come from the doctor, come from Simon, anywhere he come from, reverse the order, reverse the order, break sure, we're coming through, we're coming through, reverse the curse. Send back the order. Reverse the curse. Send back the order. Where he come from, anywhere he come from. If a Jamaica, Island. If I St. Thomas, he come from St. Mary. Okay. Send it back. Send it back. We don't want to hear ya. Come out of Jamaica. Leave we Highland. Leave Jamaica. Leave Jamaica. We say leave Jamaica. We are going to know Jamaica. We are going to take back Jamaica. We are going to take back Jamaica.
Yes, Jamaica, welcome back. I encourage everyone tonight who can, if you never got a chance last night, to support Auntie Claudette on her GoFundMe. We're not going to look at those naysayers. We're advanced in many things, but we can't talk as yet. We're advanced on many things, but we can't address anything as yet, Jamaica. But if you can support Auntie Claudette on her GoFundMe, I want to see if we can. Yes, Jamaica. We want to look and to see if we can get the additional support for Auntie Claudette. The support that is being granted or given goes beyond just the funeral. It is also to assist with Tyen's little boy, Amon, along with the legal aspect of what is to come. You heard what I said, Jamaica? There's a lot that I will be able to tell you soon. There's a lot that I'll be able to tell you soon. So I'm asking you, and I believe the GoFundMe now stands at $6,055. So I'm asking to see if we can get another $2,000 or $3,000 tonight, because I'm going to give Jamaica a solid show. I'm going to give Jamaica a solid show as to what is happening in our country. You hear? So for those who wish to support Tyen, or if you need the GoFundMe information, send me a WhatsApp at 865-4587. See, there is pinned in the comment. There it is pinned in the comment. It's at the top of the chat. But if you can't, people are saying take 30 minutes to ask. Miss Marcia, I can't use 30 minutes of the show to ask. I will use different intervals to remind people of it. But I'm asking tonight for all the assistance that we can get. So we wanted PDTV to do the first 10,000. We're at 6,055. I believe we can do even the first 10,000, and we take it from there. All right, Jamaica? All right? All right. All right. What a bangarang in Jamaica today. What a bangarang in Jamaica today. Today marked 50th anniversary of KFC in Jamaica. And as such, KFC decided that they were going to give back to the people of Jamaica. They decided that if you bought, they call it big deal broader. Big deal broader. If it is that you needed to purchase, if you purchase a big deal, you would have gotten a meal deal. As early as 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock this morning, Jamaica, people were out in their numbers. There was fighting, there was stabbing up. I gather that somewhere in Rockford, someone was shot or murdered. It was pandemonium today at KFC locations. It mashed up a lot of small businesses today. Many small business owners who are in the restaurant business. Not even just the small business. Burger King ball out. Tasty's ball out. Island Grill ball out. Fish Pot ball out. Wendy's ball out. Everybody ball out today because KFC near with food. But I want to wonder, I wonder, Jamaica, where did KFC get all of this money from? Where did KFC get all of this chicken from? Where did KFC get all of this chicken from? I open the prediction. I open the pre. When I wanted, that chicken that it call again? What did that chicken call again, students? What them call that chicken again? What them call that chicken again? Where did KFC find all of that chicken today to supply? Look, Jamaica, at the state of what happened at the KFCs today. Look at the state of what happened at the KFCs.
Today is National KFC Day in Jamaica, and the island a move like Christmas come early, but with more chicken and less traffic control.
Riot again!
From 5 a.m., people start flocking to KFCs all across the country, even though doors don't open till 10 a.m. Why? Because KFC drop a 50th anniversary madness. Buy a big deal, get a meal deal free. That's not just a bargain. That's music to every Jamaican ears. Kingston, Portmore, Ochi, Montego Bay, back to Harborview, every single branch full to capacity. The drive-thrus? Chaos. Cars stretch around the corner like dem waiting on gas during hurricane season. Inside, pure excitement. People hold place for auntie, cousin, neighbor. Lines as long as the U.S. Embassy line. And yet, nobody leaving. Why? Because this not just chicken, this is pride, passion, and pepper barbecue sauce. KFC knew exactly how to stir up the nation, and we show up every time.
Why? I don't know what they put in chicken, you know.
Yes, Jamaica. Producer, play the other part. Oh, the woman says chef in the KFC.
People like Dawn say come what may, dusk or dawn, she's not leaving without chicken.
Yeah, I want my chicken. I want it. Nice. Spicy. You see the barbecue? You see the original? Or beer something?
So you say this, the long line now deter you from going in?
No, you're mad. Me have to go in there. I'm afraid them have to go in there too. The whole of we have to go in there. I'll pack up in there. Cause beer chicken. Yeah.
No teeth, no problem.
Having a denture, you can't eat the chicken same way. You understand? All a woman there, she just take out her teeth and a KFC she wait for. You understand? Got it full of spice.
Jamaica. On a serious note, Jamaica has a significant increase in non-communicable diseases. And equally, many Jamaicans have now started to live on these fast foods, including the special KFC. But you know what I find worrying? We're eating up all of these cholesterols. We're eating up a lot of these cholesterols. But the health system don't have the resources to fix us when we need to be fixed, you know. The health system is not in a position that if you should get a heart attack or if you should go, if you tell me if I'm telling a lie. The health system in Jamaica, if you are to get a heart attack, a stroke, and anything like that, the health system or the health services in Jamaica is not at a place that it can help you. Am I telling a lie? But what is worrying is that the JLP today even used the KFC situation to say that they're a big deal. The JLP today went as far as to use the KFC anniversary to say that they're a big deal. You never hear about it. And then saying that Mark Golding is small fries. That's what they're saying. They're a big deal and Golding is a small fries. But can you be a big deal without CT scan machines and MRIs? Can you be a big deal when your roads and a crisis are happening within our water system? Can there be a big deal after 9 active years and strong? The real big deal. You know, see how insensitive and vulgar and desperate these people are. But I will remind them, if you're a big deal, call the election. If you are such a big deal, shameless government, dirty, shameless government. If you're such a big deal, call the election. Low and desperate. So when I saw this now, it begs me to question, were they a part of asking KFC to do this so as to put the freeness to the people for the people to feel good? These are the feel-good moments that them want to tell people that things are going in this country. There should be a shame to what can go so. There should be a shame to associate Colonel with Master 28. There should be a shame. You cannot walk in the Colonel's shoes, Andrew Holness. You and your government, 9 years, destructive and strong. 9 years, you have been a destructive element on the land. 9 years. And the franchisees in Jamaica, Mark Wemney and Mark Myers, was this an orchestrated plan to use the KFC brand and now will make it turn labor right? But I want to say to him, seeing that you're a big deal, because in my book, you know, you're a cockroach. In my book, Jamaica, he's a Tutsi. In my book, he's a cockroach and a Tutsi. Is who this calling me already? In my book, Jamaica, him is a Tutsi. Hello, good night.
It's Mr. Stevens. I hate to throw you off in the introduction, but I just had one question.
Sir. Is it in relation to the topic that I'm speaking?
Yes, it's in relation to the topic.
What is it? Mm-hmm.
Yes, if unemployment is so low, how KFC is so full? How come persons get the time off from work to pull up KFC and to be in line for hours?
Repeat that, my friend.
If the unemployment rate is very low, how is it that KFC is filled with so much people? Is it that these workplaces give people the time off to go into KFC and to pull up the line and to be in the line for hours?
You know what it is,
So
my
that
friend?
is my question.
You say if it was the unemployment is at the lowest it has ever been.
Yes.
In 30 odd years. How so much people in a KFC like? Well, my friend, I'm glad that you catch the rake. You hear what I said? I'm glad you catch the rake. Because what I saw today, what I witnessed today, is like everybody in a them little cubicle just came out to go get the free meals. Can you imagine, you know? My friend, I'm going to say this to you, and I'm going to say this to you well. They have doctored the unemployment rate in the country.
Yes.
And because it has been doctored, today you saw, you remember the Bible speaks about evidences of things seen and unseen. Today you saw, you remember faith is the substance of things. You remember the Bible talk about that. So today was the evidence, my friend. Today was the evidence of the unemployment rate in Jamaica being sky high. You know, sister? Today was the evidence of it. Evidence of it. Thank you, my friend. God bless you now.
Yes. Keep up the good work.
So when I see them come talking about unemployment is at an all-time low. Today you saw everybody run out. Today, Jamaica, you saw everybody run out. And it was a clear example. Clear example, Jamaica, of how bad things are in this country. Clear example. But I'm going to say to them, I always tell Jamaica, you must read Robert Greene. And if you read Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power, the 33 Strategies of War, and the Art of War, the Art of Seduction. In the power, right? 48 Laws of Power. Number 40 speaks to despise the free lunch. I've said it before, Jamaica. What is offered as free is dangerous. And it was a free lunch. It usually involves either a trick or a hidden obligation. What has worth is worth paying for. By paying your own way, you stay clear of gratitude, guilt, and deceit. It is also often wise to pay the full price. There is no cutting corners with excellence. Be lavish with your money and keep it circulating. For generosity is a sign and a magnet for power. KFC know what them doing today. And all of them who talking about them a big deal. It was orchestrated. Orchestrated by the colonizers in this country, the economic colonizers in this country. The economic colonizers in this country think that they can do these things to the people. But you know, anybody read the Gleaner this morning? I bet you said no found never read the Gleaner report this morning. The Gleaner is saying there is a vote divide. Jamaicans align views on Wholeness Administration record to vote intent. I'm going to read the article for you. Oh, you come here so late. Listen to this, Jamaica. Courtney run up and come here. Nearly, listen to this, Courtney. Listen to this argument. And where they come from? Me go tell me Sharon lock the door. This. Nearly 1 in 3 Jamaicans say they cannot identify. Nearly 1 in 3. So 1 in every 3 Jamaicans cannot identify. You heard that, Courtney? Cannot identify. What? Cannot identify. A single area they believe Wholeness Administration excelled in since 2020. I don't think you hear that, you know. Repeat, yes. Nearly 1 in every 3 Jamaicans say they cannot identify a single area they believe that Wholeness Administration has excelled in since 2020. Months before the election, so them can't identify education. Them can't identify health. Them can't identify water or housing. Them can't identify road. Them can't identify with the good economy. Them can't identify with what them says the unemployment rate at the lowest it has ever been. They cannot identify Jamaica. Roughly at the same time, 1 in 4 Jamaicans. See, they them cannot identify it quickly. Can you identify? Can you, Jamaica, identify? 1 in 3 means like what? Hey. Trouble. That is trouble for him, you know, Jamaica. That is trouble, 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 trouble. And when you think why they can't call it, I see even a crisis in Portland. Right now. A crisis in Portland with education. The people in Portland who has children with disabilities cannot identify how their children go and get assistance. You hear what I said? The people in Portland cannot identify. Listen to this story, Jamaica. Listen to this story. Listen to this.
Our children are deserving too. The cry of parents in Portland this evening who say their disabled children are out of options as it relates to school. TVJ News understands that the two primary level institutions serving children with disabilities in the parish are full, leaving the students with nowhere to go come September morning. Amoy Harriet has part one of this TVJ News report, No Room to Learn.
The structure you're looking at was once a second home to dozens of students with disabilities ages 16 to 18 years in Portland. In 2022, after a major earthquake, the School of Hope was forced to relocate as the building was deemed unsafe for students and staff. Since then, the School of Hope has been operating from the Port Antonio Baptist Church. But the space they're now using is said to be significantly smaller than the previous location, and so the student population has dwindled. Those feeling the brunt of it are families with disabled children who depend on institutions like these to provide education for their young ones. Alex has an autistic son. Currently, he attends the Stimulation Plus Early Childhood Development Center in Orange Bay, but he's graduating in a few weeks, and come September, her son and many of his classmates will have nowhere to go.
Meaning they should be transitioning into the School of Hope, and there is currently no space. School of Hope is telling us that they're at capacity and they cannot accept any more students based on the 12-to-1 ratio, where they have 12 students to every one teacher, or one teacher to every 12 students in the classes. So we're currently out of options. We don't have anywhere to send our children.
Notably, School of Hope is the only primary level institution specially operated for disabled students in the parish. Another school, Draper's All Age, has a special needs unit, but they too are unable to accommodate the students.
After them graduate from early Simulation Plus, where are we going to send them? Because if the two schools in Portland telling us that they don't have any space to accommodate our children, well, we don't know what to do.
The parents fear their children might be at risk of regressing.
Because once they are not being actively engaged, they will be forgetting everything that they were taught by the hardworking teachers at Stimulation Plus in Orange Bay. So that's a challenge for us. We have parents whose children have graduated last year and the year before who are still at home, no place for them to go. And the vibe that we're getting from the government overall in Jamaica is that special needs children are not real children. That's the vibes that we're getting. The fact remains is that these babies are real babies and they need somewhere to go.
The mothers told us that they attempted to explore an alternative, send their children to a mainstream primary school with the company of a shadow. But
in order for them to get a shadow, they need to go and get assessed. Finding 50 to 150,000, which is the price that we're quoted when we find out the cost for the assessment, is ridiculous because a lot of parents cannot find it. The education laws of the land saying that we as parents have to send our children to school. If we don't send our children to school, then we can be charged or fined under the Education Act. The Child Care and Protection Act states that our children it's their right to have an access to an education, but currently we are being faced with the issue that they have no access to these things. So who will be held accountable now?
The School of Hope is operated jointly by the Education Ministry and the Jamaican Association on Intellectual Disabilities. The ministry responds in part 2. Amoy Harriet, TVJ News.
Jamaica. There are other issues that were not highlighted in that report from TVJ. The school gave these parents letters to put their children on the PATH program, Courtney, so that they can get the disabilities grant. However, PATH is rejecting these parents' children. Nowhere in Portland assess the children, so they have to be ending up going to Kingston. Nowhere in Portland does therapies for these children, like speech therapy, occupational therapy, behavioral therapy. Our children have zero access to these things. And when them say, Courtney? Varsland. In the Varsland, I thought that education would be paramount. No, it can't be paramount because remember, whilst we're sleeping in the sleep is we were sleeping. Whilst they were sleeping, they were toiling in the night. Yes. Put up our face. That's what them do, you know. Put up our face, yes. The two colonizers of Portland. What you call it? Pumps and pumps. The two colonizers of Portland. Pumps. Imagine with all the wealth and money they have. Children with disability. Children with disability in Portland cannot get these things done. But Isaac Buchanan been there 7 months now and almost give out 3,000 tablets to children. What have they done for the children of Portland? Sell water. Sell the water. Yes. What have they done for the people and the children of Portland? That is the reality tonight in Jamaica. When you fail to invest in education and when you fail to invest in healthcare, no other investment you do. No other investment you do. Jamaica, the School of Hope has been mashed up since burial. And all you're going to tell me, these two wealthy political colonizers of Portland cannot even make an investment to fix for the disabled children in Portland. The parents cannot manage Courtney. The mother said for her to get an assessment done is $150,000. That is 1,000 US. And with that, what did Dora the Explorer say one day? That children will be able to be assessed in the summer. This is the kind of economic colonization that is on the land, Jamaica. And we have to end this economic colonization. If it doesn't come to an end, the disabled, the disenfranchised, the vulnerable children will suffer. What did the Bible say? When mothers are saved, their children brought to Jesus, then. What is it? Suffer the children to come unto me and forbid them not. Daryl and Anne-Marie, you have forbidden the children of Portland. You have suffered the children of Portland. You have ravished and denied the children of Portland. You have literally ambushed so that you and your friend and the economic colonizers can take over Blue Lagoon and take over this and take over Navy Island, take over this, take over that, take over the private beach them, take over all kind of things. And the forestry in Portland for them selfish demise and gains. We must put an end to the economic colonizers of Portland.
Ball out! Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out from Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody, man or woman.
So when I see these economic colonizers, that's what they are. Economic colonizers. All them need is 5 more years so that them belly can full. All them Portlanders, remember, all they need, remember, you know, SSL building. All them need, remember Jamaica. Remember, don't let me remind them tonight. Remember Jamaica. Remember. These economic colonizers, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, picnic, son, daughter, grand picnic. And the people, and what then do take up one little yang and talk about how them at the football competition. That is no meaningful. That is no meaningful contribution for the people of Portland. And when then done, they send the police, they mash up on the picnic them, knock off them door. Mansion Hill people, you know what they're talking about.
What can go so?
Rafters in Portland. Rafters in Portland. Raft captains at Blue Lagoon. When last have you been able to make 100,000? They have turned you into paupers. Rafters and raft captains. You know what I'm talking about? I wonder if they know what I'm talking about tonight. Raft captains, when last have you been able to go buy your wife and your children a proper meal? Fix the things and make you know all right. These economic colonizers must be put to an end. They lock you out. Ravish on the mommy beer. Mommy beer. White River. Rafters. I am asking you all, lest you forget, these were the colonizers, Jamaica. Remember, probably you never know, you know. This one must tell you about him history, Varsland, about him family history with plantocracy and plantation. You never know. Is another slave owner. Of course. Vars Delight. Ask him about him estate and him from the time of him forefathers. Vars Delight. Uno go research Vars Delight and we understand. Yes, it was a plantation. It was a plantation, Jamaica. Vars Delight. Ask him how much slave him did have on it. That's why things him have rights. Some massa pumps. And a massa vase, a massa pumps. Massa pumps.
Help. We key out of the ladder.
We need your divine intervention. We're tired of the labor rights.
And I don't think, Courtney, the pumps is a symbolism of love towards, you know. I think it's a symbolism of hate towards. What is the significance of the pumps that is called? Trouble in the camp, but I won't talk about that until in the election cycle that I open the door. Courtney, I hope you're not swinging, you know.
Swing go where?
I hope you're not swinging.
You know,
I hope you're not swinging, you know, Courtney. I hope you're not swinging.
You can't say that, teacher. I'm going to leave the program.
No, but I'm just asking you. Yes, you swing and swing, sir.
Yeah, man. You like Tarzan?
Ball out!
Ball out! Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus.
Yes. Oh, you're a comrade, so you don't swing. All right, Courtney, I hear you loud and clear. No swinging round here in Jamaica, and plenty of them. Plenty of them, they pan swing song and they pan E-O. But you know, Jamaica, we have more substantive things to do tonight. The Auditor General came out swinging.
Today?
The Auditor General decided to defend. You remember we talk about the Prime Minister Housing Program?
Yes.
And how it is duplicated. Because of the duplication, there is not much people who are benefiting. Listen to what the Auditor General said today. Listen to what the Auditor General said.
Auditor General has doubled down on her position based on the findings of a report which revealed overlapping functions of some government social housing programs. Speaking at Tuesday's sitting of the Public Accounts Committee, Pamela Monroe Ellis stressed that the systems are in need of reform. Anthony Lugg has the details.
The December 2024 Auditor General report, titled Managing Government Social Benefit Program, was back in the spotlight on Tuesday. The report found, among other things, that various social programs had similar objectives and overlapping functions with little or no coordination in the distribution of said benefits. Among them, the new social housing program, which falls under the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Arlene Williams is the permanent secretary.
We are also taking steps to forge key strategic partnerships with the other MDAs to eliminate the possibility of duplication of efforts and benefits. And I would have noted from the Auditor General's report the whole thing about beneficiary fraud and the probability of it happening. Just to advise Chair as well as members of the House that we have a cross-cutting committee.
That steering committee is not going to prevent fraud. It's the operational system, it's the database, it's the information system that is managing the process that will aid in that process.
The government has rejected the findings of the report since it was released. In fact, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness argued that the work of each entity is different and has different mandates.
When they come to us, they're not going to get enough sometimes. They're just not going to get enough. And they still will go to the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. And they will still go to wherever, even private sector, so that they can be a partnership in helping them to get back on their feet.
This report is speaking to the administration of social benefits. We did not assess the efficacy of the various programs, and I want that to be understood. We're speaking about the administration. It's a fact that there is duplication. It's a fact that there is overlapping. And it is a fact that there is a substantial cost for managing the delivery of the social benefit.
The committee also learned on Tuesday that land tenure and other issues are among the key factors affecting delivery of some houses under the new social housing program. Meanwhile, Permanent Secretary Arlene Williams sought to defend the coordination between the various ministries, particularly during the decision-making process.
We're actively implementing, thank you, Chair, the recommendations and increasing the collaboration. I expect that even in short order, we'll be having another meeting with the other two ministries that are mentioned in the report to advance the recommendations.
Anthony Lugg, TVJ News.
Jamaica. What the Auditor General is saying is that duplication is happening with the social housing program, equally with what is happening at the Ministry of Labour with the indigent program. You remember there are speculations of who are the persons who get these houses. I'm going to make you listen to a voice note now. I'm going to let Jamaica listen to a voice note now of how Marissa Dalrymple admit. Listen to this, Jamaica.
No?
Listen to this.
Good night, workers of the Ulster Spring Group.
Producer, find Marissa's
Marissa.
picture.
Some people know me as Marissa, some people as Mama D, some people as Miss D. It doesn't matter. I'm your member of parliament. And I have the greatest of respect for my workers and more so for the people of South Trelawney. I say it openly that where I have colleagues in parliament, I have family and friends in South
Hear this,
Trelawney,
Jamaica. Listen
because
to
you
this.
people have been everything to me.
Listen to this.
I don't. This is the first time I'm going to talk on any workers' chat, but I feel compelled tonight to set the record straight.
Set it straight, Marissa. Set
Now,
it straight.
I've looked at what Susan has put in the group about wanting a tank for her mother and not getting it.
The girl, you know.
I first of all want to say the government, the tanks that were just given out, were given out under a government program for 150 tanks.
Mama Roscoe.
And the rules and regulations, which is
Mama
not being
Roscoe.
broken by me because they are being audited. In fact, we have finished giving them out now, and we have until the 7th of this month to send in the pictures of people with the tanks and the papers that they have signed to indicate that they have gotten it.
All right,
so
Marissa.
people who have not signed the government needs sheet could not get a tank from that program. I, however, intend as Member of Parliament, as soon as the funds are available, which should be by next week or so, to start a program of my own where I will give thanks to persons
Hear
who
the
need
bombshell
thanks
now.
as best as I can.
Hear the
Of course,
bombshell
I
now,
cannot
Jamaica.
give
Listen to the bombshell now.
everybody, but we are going to try. I have persons all over. There are
these
thousands
fingers
of
in.
people in South. So we'd never be able to give everybody, but we will give those persons who come down, make a request, have a voter's guide and a TRN number.
All right, Marissa, come
Now,
now.
Susan has put this thing about her mother and the tank. I say without fear of contradiction, Susan needs to stop it. Susan was among the first people that I recommended and gave a food for the poor house when I came to South Trelawney 18 years ago.
Ball out!
Orlando, listen to the party again. Listen to the party of Jamaica.
That I recommended and gave a food. Make a request, have a voter's guide and a TRN number.
Susan, come here, Susan.
Now, Susan has put this thing about her mother and the tank. I say without fear of contradiction, Susan needs to stop it.
She gives Susan the free house.
Susan was among the first people that I recommended and gave a food for the poor house when I came to South Trelawney 18 years ago.
Hear that, Courtney?
I do not think that Susan has ever lived in that house.
Wait.
Ball out! Whoa, yo.
She gives Susan a food for the poor out, that are the indigent house, you know, Courtney. And Susan is a labor right worker.
Yes.
And you hear what she says? She don't think Susan has ever lived in that house.
At all. Additionally, Susan, you lived in the house in Duncan's that I grew up in as a child when I went to Westwood. That is where I grew up. You lived in my house for over 9 years. I never, ever came in there to check it. I never took $1 from you. And after 9 years, when I was selling the house, I gave you full permission to take everything was in the house. I never came back. I never looked. You took every piece of furniture, every bed, everything that you had in that house. I have been your good friend. You have got me awake at 12 in the nights. Right? When you have problems in here and I sit and talk with you. When you moved out and I was selling it, my files, I'm a person of record, I'm a lawyer. I paid a light bill and a water bill that was outstanding to nearly $500,000 between light and water. I have never said a word to you. I have never requested $1 from you. I think it is unfair.
Yes.
I know it is unkind, and I know it is unnecessary for you to make comments like that. Additionally, the Constable War from this area, has visited your mother's house.
Yeah.
And not asked you to travel to Falmouth, but has been there and brought the right officials and doing everything to have your mother on the social relief program. Anywhere you go, all over the constituency, people don't take you. They tell you where to go to the office that does those things. And he has done that. He's a member of my team, the Jamaica Labour Party team. Suzanne, you need to stop it. You know you have benefited not just from the Labour Party, but from Marissa Dalrymple Philibert personally for several years. Stop it and do not give the wrong impression. Stop it. I say to you, stop it. It is not right. It is not true. It is not kind. And it's certainly not necessary.
Help. We hear the
We
labyrinth.
need your divine intervention. We're tired of the labor right. We're tired of the green people. We are so far. We can't take it no more. We need
Jamaica. She's talking to a worker who is a supporter of the JLP, who benefited from an indigent housing solution. A member who is not destitute, a member who never needed the house, somebody who is living in a house, who has never lived in that house, but she got it. So my argument from what the Auditor General is saying, how many labor rights operatives are living in those houses and they don't deserve to be living in it? How many of these housing structures that you see them walk around it about key and so are these people living in? Look how many people are homeless. So are you telling me, therefore, based on the belly of the beast, is Marissa admit it, Marissa says Susan don't never live in the house. 18 years ago, from Bruce Golding time that, You get the house. So can you imagine, Jamaica, how many other Susans are operating across the 63 constituencies that then get the house and them are rent it out? So this is what you call political entrepreneurs. This Jamaica is what you call political entrepreneurs. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Jamaica? Them belly full. Them pata boil. Them belly full and pata boil, Jamaica. And Paul Patmore warned us about it, Paul Patmore warned Jamaica about it. Stick to the evil that you know. How many of you in this country would want a house? And you know that somebody who doesn't qualify gets the house, not living in the house, and then benefiting by collecting from that house, taxpayers' money. Should they continue getting away with these things, Jamaica? Should they continue? I just want to ask Jamaica. Should they continue getting away with these things? Should they continue? No, Jamaica. We shouldn't give them that opportunity. I'm going to take a commercial break right now. Jamaica. And when I come back, people of Jamaica, I have some questions to ask Fayval Williams tonight. Commercial break now.
Change one thing and change everything. Experience the power of essential whole foods, beneficial targeted probiotics, and digestive enzymes. P84 has specialized blends designed to help the body cleanse the microbiome of harmful toxins and promote a healthy environment for beneficial bacteria to grow and flourish. Consume P84 daily to engage in a multi-step process to build and maintain the body's center of health and wellness. Don't think. Just drink P84. To order, call 754-317-6435 or order online at shaunaj.lovebiome.com.
Let's pimp up your ride with
Cecil's Auto Services Limited, 1 to 3 Fish Lane, Montego Bay, and 6 Lindsay Crescent, Don Robin Avenue, Kingston. Introducing our new cleaning systems, HHO Carbon Cleaner. No need to disassemble engine parts. 20 minutes can clean your engine. Diesel particle filter, engine and the transmission flush. Go Clean, our steam cleaning system. We also offer vehicle diagnostic scans for motorbikes, cars, buses, trucks, trailers, excavators, and much more. Cecil's Auto Services Limited, doing our part in assisting the global climate change.
Contact us today.
Jamaica's public health system is broken. Every week we hear the horror stories. Long waiting times, no beds, basic equipment not working. Hospitals and clinics are in crisis. While this government cuts ribbons, Jamaicans are being left to suffer in overcrowded, under-resourced facilities like this one. The next PNP government will change this. We're going to shift focus. We want to prioritize actual care for people when they're sick. Not these mega projects with huge cost overruns and that can't finish years after they start. Refurbishing every operating theatre. Creating urgent care centres island-wide so people stop waiting days for help on benches or floors. We're going to launch national screening programs to target the biggest killers of our people. Cancer, hypertension, which is pressure, diabetes, which is sugar. We want to catch them early so that people's lives can be saved. We will make the investments to ensure that every parish hospital has the equipment it needs to deliver the services required by the people. And stop the outsourcing racket that leaves patients with nothing but bills and delays. And we will support our healthcare workers, not just with words, but with housing, with training opportunities, and with respect. This is not about PR, it's about saving actual people's lives. Next PNP government will deliver proper, decent health care for the people of Jamaica. Time come.
Time come, comrades, know the history, feel the victory. Time come, people, know the history, feel the victory. Time come.
Yes, good night, caller.
Good night, how are you doing?
I'm well. Can you make your point for me, please?
Yeah, I'm calling from London, you know.
What are you saying
And
quickly?
I want the situation going to Jamaica they want to talk to you about.
No, sir. If it is not in relation to what I'm addressing now, I don't think I can facilitate. What is it about?
Oh, well, it's about the situation at the school, Marcus Garvey Technical High School.
No, I can't facilitate that discussion tonight. Call me, probably I won't be able to do that. Send a message, let me listen to the situation, and then we'll assess how best I can assist. All right?
All right, thank you very much.
Be blessed. I have to keep with my script, Jamaica. I can't just ad hocly, unless it's an emergency. I can't ad hocly just take up everything and just put on my agenda. Now, Jamaica, we are in an election year. Are we, Jamaica? Courtney, we're in an election year, no, sir?
Definitely.
And in an election year, are you aware that wage negotiations are going on? Are you aware that wage negotiations are going on, Courtney and Jamaica?
Yeah.
Listen to this bangarang with the wage negotiation. Listen to this. Listen to this, Jamaica. Listen to this.
Active for the good of our nation.
Good evening, I'm Deidre Gordon with the latest Radio Jamaica news. Wage talks between the Minister of Finance and the island's trade unions representing public sector workers have started on a sour note. This after the Finance Minister submitted its counter-offer to the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions last Thursday. The JCTU submitted its 2025 to 27 fringe and wage benefits claim to the government last November, seeking an increase of 15% in year 1 and 10% in year 2. But the Minister of Finance in its counter-offer submitted to the Confederation last week requested a 4-year contract. The Finance Ministry has reportedly offered an increase of 0% in year 1, 2.5% in year 2, 2.5% in year 3, as well as 2.5% in year 4, a total 7.5% increase over 4 years. President of the JCTU, St. Patrice Ennis, told Radio Jamaica News that the offer was strongly rejected by the unions in a letter sent on Friday to Finance Minister Fayval Williams. He says his members are unhappy and the Confederation has requested an urgent meeting with the Finance Minister. Wage negotiations between parties were scheduled to begin in March, but the government had requested a delay in the talks until the end of April.
No, Courtney. Oh, did I hear that? Fayval is telling the public sector workers to that them not getting any increase in year 1. 0% increase.
In year 1.
0% increase, Jamaica. In year 1. Now you recognize why Nigel run, Courtney.
Yeah.
Now you understand why Nigel run. Fayval go look for the people, tell them, say them going to get 0% increase. Fayval look upon the public sector workers and tell them, Jamaica, the nurse, the doctors, the teachers, the fireman, the police, the soldier, them, the administrative staff, them, the secretarial, of them, something there. 0% in an election year. And then she said between year 1 to year 4, it accumulatively going to be 7.5%. So now let them get the 7.5% one time. 2%, 0 point that percent, 3%. But wholeness and in government and the parliamentarians and the governor general, we can't even work. 300% increase. Wicked and caring set of people. Can you imagine them? I am confident, no Courtney. I am confident the Labour Party don't want a third term. I am now confident that the only thing that Andrew Wall is trying to do is to see to it that he don't go to prison.
No, cat. Tomorrow no Labour, tomorrow Labour Day. Labour wicked.
Labour wicked. Out of the mouth of babes. Out of the mouth of babes and suckling. The picnic said Labour wicked. Courtney, there is no way. Producer, play back the clip because I don't think people hear. play about the clip. I don't think people here when you play about the clip they produce.
Active for the good of our nation.
Good evening, I'm Deidre Gordon with the latest Radio Jamaica news. Wage talks between the Minister of Finance and the island's trade unions representing public sector workers have started on a sour note. This after the Finance Minister submitted its counter-offer to the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions last Thursday. The JCTU submitted its 2025 to 27 fringe and wage benefits claim to the government last November, seeking an increase of 15% in year 1 and 10% in year 2. But the Minister of Finance in its counter-offer submitted to the Confederation last week requested a 4-year contract. The Finance Ministry has reportedly offered an increase of 0% in year 1, 2.5% in year 2, 2.5% in year 3, as well as 2.5% in year 4, a total 7.5% increase over 4 years. President of the JCTU, St. Patrice Ennis, told Radio Jamaica News that the offer was strongly rejected by the unions in a letter sent on Friday to Finance Minister Fayval Williams. He says his members are unhappy and the Confederation has requested an urgent meeting with the Finance Minister. Wage negotiations between parties were scheduled to begin in March, but the government had requested a delay in the talks until the end of April.
Who remember, I tell you, Courtney, that the wage talk going mash them up in the election? Who remember when I said that the wage talks going mash them up in the election?
No money.
Jamaica. The government workers say in year 1 they want 15%. And in year 2 they want 10%. Cumulatively, they must say them want 25% increase. Fayval come back to them and say, in a 2025, I can't give an increase. 2026, I can give you 2.5. 2027, I can give you 2.5. And 2028, I can give you 2.5. Cumulatively, 7.5%. With inflation on the rise and cost of living on the rise, Jamaica, that 2.5% is when we say near more true inflation, and cost of living. And Fayval is saying to the people, she's reporting what her master tell her, She's reporting what her master tell her. Because her master tell her nothing them cannot get. Nothing them cannot get. Remember, Ripsy, Mr. Marshall call. I feel make Mr. Marsh talk. Because people... Yes, Papa Marshy.
What a bam bam. What a bam bam.
Bam bam did them. Bam
bam. I want this man. No trouble, no. Let me tell you something.
Yes.
Me tell you about zerologists, Zerologists,
Yeah.
See one of them, yeah? Work out your salary to nothing. And when it reaches year 2, the way how inflation behaving, it will be 0 again for year 2.
What you said?
It's going to be 0 again for year 2. The people, they are a set of zerologists.
Zerologists. Can you imagine?
Zerologists.
Papa Marsh, can you imagine? She had the moral decadence to come to the people until they said they're not getting not even $1 in year 1. Not even $1.
And then walk up and down and tell me how the economy doing well.
Yes, good economic management, can
Mighty God.
But Marsh.
Well, may I come, Andrew?
Yeah.
May I come? The Prime Minister referred to the PNP as a dog. And guess what them a do? Them a tease the dog, you know.
Yeah, them a tease the dog. Mm-hmm.
Them a tease the dog, and the dog is going to bite, especially the pit bull.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? These are the danger. Zero.
And I'm going to say to you, Marshy, may I say this to you? Me there a KPH what day, yeah. And me see one doctor just walk out. And the doctor depend. The doctor literally start cuss. You can see the frustration, Jamaica.
Yes.
Pan the doctor. The doctor cuss some clot there. And the doctor said, me done, Tara, me done. Marshy.
Nah, no tool to work with.
Nah, I've nothing to work with, Marshy.
Nothing. Not even Catinal, them have not the hospital sometimes, you know. Not even Panadol, them have not the hospital sometimes. They're not lining to work with, they're not dressing. And Christopher, let me tell you something, you know. You know some of them people have violence producer.
Yeah.
When Christopher Tupton come talk about the health sector not in crisis, you know what sort of violence them have stir up in our people? These people is terribly in a man. How can we live in a country with them set of people here? No wonder, and then you have one next one in Broadwood team out to come talk about them not surrender. And them upset. They're upset because report to me, you know, me get report. So they're upset to the gun them when they find on a team constituency. They're upset to the police to find the gun them, you know.
Oh Lord, really, Marshy?
Yeah, me I wonder why them upset that them find them gun there. And then when me hear team argument about not surrendering to the PNP, them people are look trouble.
But Marshy, it is very worrying a trend to know that these people are going to say to the public sector workers that in year one, you're getting no money. Mr. Marsh, they're not taking into consideration what is happening between Israel and Iran. They're not taking into consideration what is happening in Ukraine and Russia. They're not taking into consideration what is happening in the United States and all of these oil-producing countries, Mr. Marsh. Mr. Marsh, it is worrying and a tone-deaf approach when a government can look at its public sector workers and say to them, over 4 years, we're only going to be able to give you 7.5%. Can you believe, Mr. Marsh? And then the said government, remember, Fayval is receiving almost $27 million for the year, you know. As finance minister who looks at the country and said, you could use a $2,000 pay down on a pro box. You remember the pro box minister? When people see the $2,000 these days, you know what they call it? Fayval.
What has it has, and let me tell you something, you know, the JLP is full of so much tricks, and the PNP must start explaining things to people right now, you know. Because the JLP leaving the country in a position where the PNP have got a problem. Because you see JUTC, you see the fear that they're charging on JUTC, it's not realistic, you know. The bus now can run for that kind of money, you know. It will not. It can't. There is no way. Enough tidy up the PNP will have to do when they come, because the PNP is coming. But they better start explaining to the people right now. We are in a serious trouble. They'll say they're in a serious crisis. And them take the drill and them a dance quadrille around the drill. Thief up the money. The set of tricks and you come into that and tell people about 0%.
But
you set a damn zerologists.
They are zerologists. But in time, God go and deal with them. Thank you for calling, Papa Mashi.
Take care, Auntie Claudette. Stay strong, my friend.
All right, Papa Mashi.
Good.
All right, Papa Marsh. What a thingy though. Fayval looking at the people to tell them. Nurses and doctors, teachers, policemen. Them say them love you. Them say they love you, right? But I want to remind you. I want to remind. So Madema Allah. No found the nurses and doctors and police, you know. Some of them are halal. Yes, I find the right. Some are ball. Some of them are Allah, some are ball. Some of them are Allah, some are ball. Some of them are Allah ball. Just listen to one and all. Come black people and get on the ball. What another man, a man you never be stall. Tell them that them are the greatest of all. Some of them are Allah, some are ball. Some of them are Allah, some are ball. Come say when me was a youth, me and me bumming ball. Jamaica, I want you all to consider tonight how unconscionable a government, doctors, teachers, they're playing draft with people's lives. Because this is not chess, Jamaica. This is not chess. This is draft them playing. This is Ludi. This is Ludi them playing. Like the scammers playing with the poker box them. When you hear about the poker box them with the scammers. Producer make Jamaica see where they go on with the poker box and the scammer them there. Listen to this. Gambling with people's lives like the scammers gambling with the poker boxes.
The St. James police believe they have cracked down on a multi-million-dollar scheme.
The investigations are preliminary, but owners of poker boxes across the country are the victims.
The police made an arrest today, and as the probe deepens, more are expected.
Sandy Williams has our story.
On the face of it, these look legitimate, but
what we're looking at are the sophisticated devices that this criminal syndicate are using to recreate tickets, using fake tickets, using them to defraud the poker box operators.
in fact, it's an ongoing issue in Western Jamaica. Operators of poker boxes have been losing millions to scammers.
These group of persons, how they operate, they'll come to your establishment, get a copy of your logo, they then go back, recreate your logo, and then create fake tickets. They then come to the establishment, posing as normal customers, and then they try and cash in these tickets.
On Tuesday, the police made a breakthrough.
Earlier today, the owner of an establishment in St. James and in the Barnett Street policing area recognized that there was an issue with a poker box ticket that was being presented to be cashed. Upon further examination, he confirmed that there was something different about the ticket and requested the assistance of the police. The police, upon going there, held on to the men.
Upon searching the vehicle the men were traveling in, the police stumbled on the devices used to create the fraudulent tickets. Their investigation also revealed something bigger.
And I realized that this syndicate seemed to have originated outside of Montego Bay, but has been operating for some time, defrauding poker box operators and other business owners within across the country.
As the police continue to dig deeper, they've already surmised that this is a multi-million-dollar scheme and the criminals are all over the country.
If you look on the costing on some of these tickets, if you have tickets with $65,000 and you print 10 of those per day, that's $650,000. You can easily pull $2 million plus, in excess of $2 million dollars every day. By just not making even any great effort doing this scam.
To businesses,
we are encouraging persons who operate these establishments, pay keen attention to persons who enter and exit your establishment, ensure that you have proper cameras set up so that you can pay attention to what is being done on the box. And also, if you are in doubt, contact the police. This is not limited to St. James, but right across the country.
Sandy Williams, TV.
Can you imagine? We never know about this poker box business, Courtney. I never know about this poker box business. I never know about this poker box business. But that is the way how the government playing snake and ladder with the government workers in this country. Me no gamble so true, me wouldn't know about it, Courtney. I wonder if it's this Dwayne Smith did that do too. You remember the one where owe the next man the $20 million? I wonder if Dwayne Smith a gamble with the poker box there.
That place, such place when you have poker box.
Them have poker box too. You know wonder I would have asked Dwayne Smith, Courtney. Card pack and then lose the poker. Shuffle and what deck? Shuffle and deck. But I'm telling you, Jamaica, this is how somebody say, Andre, them learn the poker box scamming from the provost of the Chopper University. I was the provost of the Chopper University. Oh, Master 20. Them learn in Jamaica from Master 28. St. Thomas residents, good night, good night, good night.
Hello.
I see some road in a St. Thomas, the Courtney. If they were carpet, I could have understood. Look, come here, Courtney, come here. Put it up big on the screen there, producer. I want them there in the road.
What that, man?
I want them there in the road, Courtney. Caution is advised for the people. What is that in the road? 1, 2, 3, 4. That look like when ship a deck and it have the pier.
You can't drive. What?
That look like when ship a deck and you go put this something over it. Is what that in the road, Jamaica? Is what that come out of the road, Jamaica, the carpet them? Caution is being advised. Caution is being advised to the people of St. Thomas. This look like a Charles hole or a Robertson hole. But it's not all this. It's what this Courtney, anybody can explain to me is what the St. Thomas people. What is that, Courtney? That no, man. That is like the whole stretch.
What can go so?
But those look like a crater. What is that in the road? Ara look like a the pot cover. Where pot cover there? He mean that the old man a hide. Them says pylons. What are pylons? Anybody know what pylons are? I don't know about them. Pylons.
Google up, man.
A pylon is a tall vertical structure designed to support heavy loads or transmit forces. It's often used in the construction specifically for bridges, power transmission lines, and other large-scale infrastructure projects. So what them they are doing at St. Thomas Road? What them they are doing at the road, Jamaica? But when I saw that, Mr. St. Thomas people, many think only they get road already, pretty road. But it look like the pretty road never come to. Look like the pretty road never come to. But students, they mash me up today, Courtney. KFC mash me up today, you know. KFC mash me up today, students.
Yes.
So, me glad me never cook no whole heap of food today. Me glad Jamaica me never cook no whole heap of food today. Let me take the final commercial break, and when I come back, I open the phone lines. All right? Let me take the final commercial break right now.
The Church of the Living God, in association with the Youth Ministry, presents An Incredible God Deserves an Incredible Praise on Saturday, June 21 via Moody Hall at Edmund College at 6:30 p.m. featuring Lubert Levy, Hilkai Jones, Talia Patterson, Nayuka Grant, Andrew Brown, and many more. MC Sister Annette. Tickets 2,000 pre-sold, 2,500 at the gate. Children under 12 or $1,000. Refreshments and sale. Tickets info 876-314-4441 or 898-6776. In need of the Youth Ministry Outreach Program. To heaven when I die, we for hero.
Welcome to Golby Locks and Grow. We have a variety of skin and hair products that are 100% natural. Our products are developed by a certified cosmetologist located in Port Antonio. For skincare, we have body wash, body butter, body scrub, facial bars, and more. Our hair care products include powerful hair growth oils, shampoo, conditioners, hair moisturizers, and more. Visit our locations and feel free to follow us on Instagram at Golby Locks and Grow. Call us at 357-9996. Let us help you rejuvenate your natural beauty.
Jamaican-born Dr. Everton Brown, toxicologist, has formulated a healthy, luxurious skin, hair, vaginal, and penile health care. And the most sought-after pain reliever, the Dr. Brown's Arthritis Joint and Remedy Oil. His miraculous skincare treatment removes dark spots and leave your skin with a shiny and healthy glow. Dr. Brown Arthritis Pain and Remedy Oil relieves pain with just a single rub. Men and women. Dr. Brown have something for both your vaginal and penile health care. Products are now available in Jamaica. Visit our website or call 917-557-6204 and
One Love Season to the Bone, your one-stop seasoning. Authentic Jamaican seasoning, low sodium, no MSG, all natural herbs and spices, straight out a yard, all-purpose, chicken, fish, jerk. Available at Broad Meat Food Stores, North Lauderdale, Lauderdale Lakes, Margate and Pembroke Pines, Key Food Stores, Miami and Fort Lauderdale, Bravo Supermarket, Miami, Fort Lauderdale and Palm Bay, FA&M and Price Choice, Miami, Thrifty Food Store, Palm Bay, Food Basket and DNL Supermarket, Palm Beach, Festival Market, and available at all leading supermarkets and the Centerville Food Store, Nassau, Bahamas. Phone 561-946-9941. Email gfedllc@gmail.com. One Love Season to the Bone, your one-stop seasoning.
Yes, Jamaica. I'm really looking forward to being in Canada in a few days' time. I'm really looking forward to being in Canada in a few days' time. And equally, as Head Boy said to me, use your trip in Canada to amplify the advocacy for the sad state of things happening in Jamaica. And I will do just that. If you need your tickets, there are limited tickets, I gather, that are still available. You can reach out to Miss Princess. You can reach out to Miss Princess at 416-822-5867. That is 416-822-5867. When everybody excited, you're going to have some naysayers who don't want to see me or see blessings and prosperity and happiness falling my way. But I'm going, and I'm going to make, and I'm not going alone. Yeah, Auntie Claudette is coming with me. Yeah, man. Auntie Claudette is going to be with me. So I couldn't go alone to Jamaica because I didn't want them to place there. Eventually, I will start doing so one day at a time, but I'm going to take my time for travel the world and be an international speaker and do all of those things. Bowler say, don't focus on them, brother. Hey, Bowler, you love over here, you know. Big up yourself, Bowler, and keep sharing my content at daytime. One thing, you know, anything partner just say over here, by a morning, Bowler, make it they all over YouTube, you know. Bowler, bless up yourself, my brethren. Bless up, bless up. Text up. You know, say me must be a TEDx speaker. You know, say me must be a TEDx speaker. Eventually, all of those things will come, Jamaica. I don't know what opportunities present itself, but Courtney may have my first Canadian dollar. Me I got show the students. Hold on there. Let me show you something. Yes, students. This is so prophetic. Look here, student. One of my students from Montego Bay designed this for me. It nice, see? She designed this and said me I go travel the world. Don't it nice? It nice, don't Courtney? Yes. It's a towel. And sit there. She quote all the scripture. Don't it nice, students? Boy, I feel so me have to carry this and she put the big Canada right there in her Courtney, Jamaica. Yes, man. So me know so when me for go to United States or England and the Emirates, all of them beautiful things here. I feel so. Imagine I think I don't think Courtney. Yeah. I should use this. I think I need to put this in a like one. What is something they call students? Like me think we should have framed this. You not think we should have framed this and put somewhere in my house? Yeah. But think we should have framed this. And when we get my Capanaris office. I'm going to get big office one day soon, very soon. I'm going to get my big Capanaris office. Nothing, students. Who not think we should have framed it? Them say yes. Frame it, don't it? Frame it, man. Frame it. Oh, God, I feel so nice. Yes, Jesus. Multiply. Multiply. Multiply, Jesus. Multiply. Wrap me in your arms. Wrap me in your arms. Wrap me in your arms. Take me to. I mean, I frame. You see, although I write up on it at the time, I have to frame this. You need to go get a little picture frame for this to me, yeah? Because I need to frame with the lady. When me come a Montego Bay, Nadia out of flankers, I have to meet Nadia out of flankers. Yeah, but $2 can't frame it still. I have to send $120 for frame it. Hey, I want thing, you know, Stella, go get her $2 them on the show, you know. Stella, I go give her $2 them. No. Everybody has some of it. No, me not put it up. Probably me can't put it there so Courtney. On the wall there or something there. Yeah. We're going to find a way. But these are the, I mean, no, my students in Canada go carry me all about and enough students as a teacher will go carry this so Ray and Tim. I don't know that I go. The whole land have plans to me in Canada. But you have to buy the ticket for come and Miss Princess. Me look good, don't it? Students, the merge them soon come. The merge them soon come. The merge them soon come, students. The merge them soon come. Me I gotta have merge for the baby them. Yeah. So all who have newborn, me I gotta have merge. Bangarang, mighty God. But let me not even talk all of them. Me I gotta have the Bangarang sweater. All of them something there come soon. But me have to make Auntie Claudette sort out herself, pass through that phase here, and then we see the merge. Then I go get the cup Courtney, I go get the food, and what is something the name again? The phone case. So many things coming, students. Yeah, and it's going to be so easy for you to order. It's going to be that easy for you to order, Jamaica. I will say this to you, Jamaica. May I sit down for my merge from the death of Heather. Auntie Claudette made it clear. Andre. So my merge, Jamaica, will be ready in time. My merge will be ready very soon. So everybody who want a bangarang or a partner draw t-shirt, very soon you'll see all of that. All right? Hello, good night. Hello?
Yes, what you need to do, you need to laminate your thing first and then you frame it.
This can laminate?
Laminate it. Laminate, man. Try it. Try nothing done.
All right, me I go see if me can get it laminated. All right?
Yeah, and then you frame it. All right.
Yeah, the merge, not merge. Merge. Me merge them, Jamaica. I mean, know a lot of people want to see them. And no fun go support me, no. No fun go support me merge. Because a long time when I say, teacher. A long time them I say, teacher, the shirt, the sweater, the this, the that. Show me all who say them want to buy a partner draw merch. All who want to get a partner draw merchandise, don't it? Yeah, man. And me a carry it international, Courtney. Me a carry it international. All right? But it was a pleasure being over here tonight with you all. It was a pleasure being over here with you all tonight. It was a pleasure being here with you all tonight. Students, remember that tomorrow is another lunch day. I have a strawberry roast chicken tomorrow. There is ackee and red herring. There is braised oxtail. There's fried chicken. And I think there is... Doesn't confirm the fish for tomorrow. There is a seafood medley in terms of soup. And there's brown stew sliced fish tomorrow. Brown stew sliced fish tomorrow. You can come. Once people pay for food for you, so you can come, and get your lunch then. All right? But students, put it on a canvas. Only need for support in the teacher, because the teacher never really make nothing today. It was really bad. It was really bad today, but in all things, we have to still give thanks. No, sir? So may I ask you to reach out to me and make an order for the lunch them tomorrow. Reach out from tonight and pre-order as early as possible so that you can have your lunches on time. Only miss all the gungo soup today. The gungo soup, what is it, Courtney? Bad like a yas. KFC steal me thunder for true, but it was a pleasure being over here with you all tonight, students. Only say need a uniform. Hey! What did them people them say they need their uniform for come to school? But before I go to Jamaica, you know what I say? Reach out to me to get reach out to me, Jamaica, to get the menu for tomorrow, okay? Reach out to me.
As children, we learn the true meaning of being a hero. Being a hero requires great sacrifice for others, not just ourselves. We learn about the heroes of Jamaica's past and how much of themselves and their lives they had to give in building a nation we should be proud to call home. They believed in a Jamaica that was more than just a country, more than just an island, more than land surrounded by water. They believed in a dream of a free nation of people, a nation built on the foundation of their sacrifices, a nation of many people working as one, a nation that will continue to produce legends and nation builders that serve towards that vision. As children, we were also taught the national pledge, a solemn promise, an undertaking. I would like to believe Sir Hugh Sherlock, while writing this pledge, understood the vision and dreams of our heroes. It's clear being a hero is too much to ever ask anyone to do. Luckily, the pledge does not require heroics of any of us. It merely asks that we honor our heroes by striving to advance our nation and ultimately inspire the world, like they and many Jamaicans have done. It's important we remember those words. These words. Before God and all mankind.
As long as my strength, my name, my love, and my loyalty to give. My strength, my love, and
If you are like me, a Jamaican born and raised on this land, maybe you will remember saying those words, singing that song in a classroom or some general assembly. If so, like me, you made a pledge. Somehow it seems like many of us have forgotten that. The crime and violence, the indiscipline and short-sightedness, the corruption, the lack of respect for beautiful lands we are blessed with, and the waters that surround and nurtures us. We have to do better. Let us honor our heroes so that they would not have sacrificed so much in vain. I hope this video can make a difference to even one soul. If so, it would all be worth it. If you feel...
Yes, Jamaica, as I wrap up tonight, it was a pleasure having you all here tonight. I see you tomorrow for lunch, and I'll be back for midday connection. On behalf of myself, Courtney, my producer, my admin, and the team of PDTV News Jamaica, stay blessed, keep positive, and bye-bye now. Goodbye.